late, but dominates the market in terms of turnover. He's heavily backed to win the Carbine Club race 1 on Derby Day. Next best is Tijuana. We're holding twice.
Set to go for the first, and the carnival is underway at Flemington. They're racing. Perfect Thought away fairly. Sandpaper out well with Tijuana and Pungo holding at spot the inner. Not too far away is Lincoln Square out wider on the course, and Tijuana in the red jacket's just going to probe through. They were followed by Redina out deeper. My Brother's Keeper the inside from Liberty Steps, 2 lengths. What a Deal, Elkington Road. Then comes Redina, who's pulling a length. Perfect Thought outside of What a Deal. A couple of lengths, Elkington Road, Big Story, and the Fortune Teller is last. So they reach the 800 metres, and the leader is Pungo, who's tried to slow it off, but Lincoln Square is there for company. A length and a half, Sandpaper, Tijuana. Redina is 5th out, 3 wide, and then came Liberty Steps and My Brother's Keeper. Further back around the turn is Perfect Thought, Elkington Road from What a Deal, Big Story, and the Fortune Teller last. Into the straight, 450 metres to go, and the leader is Pungo, still cuddled in front by 3/4 of a length to Lincoln Square. Then Tijuana, Sandpaper, Redina down the outside from Perfect Thought, and down the outside Elkington Road. Pungo went for home, 250 metres to go, 2 lengths to Perfect Thought giving chase, then Elkington Road and the Fortune Teller. They've grabbed Pungo, it's Perfect Thought, 100 metres to go, drawing clear, and Perfect Thought is going to win it. Perfect Thought has won it by 2 lengths. Second, Elkington Road just in front of the Fortune Teller. Then What a Deal, Tijuana. Pungo got top.
Well, it was the son of So You Think, but perhaps not the one we're anticipating. The favourite Pungo was given a little shake by James McDonald on straightening and looked your winner for a period as well, but it's Perfect Thought who gets the day started for John Sargent in style. As mentioned, he's got So Dazzling
Club for the 3-year-olds over the mile. $500,000 now attached to this Group 3, and it was Perfect Thought for John Sargent. He's typically cut a swathe through the Wakeful. He was chasing his 4th win in that race yesterday. Grabs the Carbine Club here with Perfect Thought, who'd bounced off a Newcastle meeting about 2 weeks ago, returning to the scene of his
top. But I really like
Surefire, hasn't budged, $1.85 in the red. Will start your hot pot favourite here for sure. Nice each way betting down the page when we look at this market from Sportsbet punters. Allegron expecting him to bounce back. He's solid around that.
And away they go. Pretty good even line too. Surefire, Chapada, and also Crystal Pegasus, the best 3 to leave. Speed from Serpentine towards the outside, just like it did the other day, is going to push forward and find the front with a lap of Flemington to go. So it's the Epsom Derby winner to go. So it's the Epsom Derby winner from 2020, Serpentine the leader, 3 lengths to Warning, a previous Victoria Derby winner. Then Kever it goes, and Chapada is back to last of the group. 800 metres to go. So it's Serpentine, a neck in front of Warning, and then came Crystal Pegasus. So it's almost a line of 3 coming up to the turn. Surefire tracks up behind them, behind Crystal Pegasus. Then came True Marvel under the whip behind them from Chapada and Allegron. Around the turn, Serpentine looked to have a kick at the 500 metres, led by 2 lengths Crystal Pegasus. Warning. Surefire presents to the middle. Then came Chapada. Serpentine at the 350, lugging in. It's getting tired. Crystal Pegasus joins it with Surefire the outside at the 250, a 3-horse battle. Crystal Pegasus in the centre, joined by Surefire, and then came Serpentine. Surefire with 150 metres to go. Serpentine is fighting back, but Surefire is about 3/4. Now elect Serpentine. Surefire wins it. Surefire from Serpentine and Crystal Pegasus. Warning for 4th, then Allegron, Chapada, and True Marvel was last.
back-to-back for Waller and J-Mac in the Lexus Archer. Last year it was Grant House, who then went on to run in the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Surefire will, in a similar vein perhaps to stablemate Francesco Guardi, who was such an impressive winner of the Moonee Valley Gold Cup 7 days ago. It might be 12 months away for the son of Fastnet Rock, who's now got 6 wins in 14 career starts and bookends his spring. It started in mid-August with a win in the spring.
To get their day kick-started with Surefire, who looked almost a good thing given the way the race, the Lexus Archer Ben, had been eradicated with so many scratchings. I think we ended up with about 40% of the original field expected, and a number of connections decided to roll the dice expecting to get runs in the Melbourne Cup, which in the end prevailed for the likes of Interpretation and Realm of Flowers. But this was a well-deserved win for a horse who was very good in the Geelong Cup.
Yeah, he was, and he wasn't in the Melbourne Cup, this horse, obviously, so a bit of a grand final for him. And They ran along at a good speed in this race. It was a genuine staying test, which you like to see, and it's rated as one of the higher rating performances on the day. So you don't often see that with the staying races in Melbourne. So nice performance from Surefire. Good to see Crystal Pegasus get back to something like his best form. I think he really relished getting back to Flemington on a track that was a little bit firmer. You know, again, it was officially rated 7. It seemed to be racing more like a 6, and with horses like him racing well, it probably suggests it wasn't too wet. Serpentine too. One-time English Derby winner, showing some
best of his
more
Australian runs.
Clearly, yeah, good to see him back into some form. Don't know what they're going to do with Allegron, but he might need the paddock. He was.
OK, let's step up. That's the type of race it is, the Wakeful. OK, the girls getting ready for the Oaks here. Let's have a look at it as time goes by.
Numbers.
Point here as time goes by is rock solid. So it's between the top 2 in the market, although late on race day, the best-backed runner is So Dazzling. Damien Oliver going for a race-to-race.
Ready to gallop. And they're away. Uptick goes back to the end with Macrana, Queen Air. Pavitra out quickly with Jenny Jerome and also La Joya. Zenzella's not too far away with also in the yellow jacket Thinking Rain. So very close up near the speed. Jenny Jerome today is up there with Pavitra, Thinking Rain, Zenzella and La Joya. Also in the red jacket is making up some ground from as time goes by. A few fillies want more than a length. So Dazzling, Artocracy, Queen Air, Let's Be Frank Baby, Uptick, Macrana last. 900 metres to go. Thinking Rain the leader by a length and a half to Zenzella second. Jenny Jerome is third, fourth Pavitra. Then came Wakamana having a tough run. A length La Joya as time goes by. Further back is Grey Northern as the field progressed to the 700 metres. Barbed Wire Baby under pressure, passed by So Dazzling, who's niggled at before the corner. Well back in the field then Artocracy in company with Let's Be Frank Baby, who's coming one of the widest, still a long way off the lead, followed by Macrana, Queen Air and Uptick. Thinking Rain 400 metres to go with Zenzella, who tanks up on the outside. Jenny Jerome a length and a half away. Wakamana still coming, and then came Pavitra, and as time goes by, 250 out. Zenzella the leader, led by about a length and a half to Pavitra back along the inside. Then Jenny Jerome as time goes by at the 150. Zenzella about a half length in front. Pavitra's trying to wear back the margin. Zenzella just from Pavitra. Zenzella boxes on and won it. Zenzella from Pavitra as time goes by, and Queen Air another eye catcher. Behind them, Let's Be Frank Baby, Wakamana, Grey Northern, Jenny.
Their colours and connections, and a stable that know how to have some fun on Derby Day. Last year it was Hitotsu for the team, Aussie Kerr, John O'Neill, Brett Carty and co. And this year it's Zenzella, who had a 5th career start coming off a Pakenham Synthetic Maiden, where she won by the best part of 4 3/4 lengths. Steps to the 2,000 metres, and this daughter of Snitzel was very, very good on speed to hold off Pavitra.
Out by Zenzella, who will have her opportunity on Thursday, Ben, to be the 39th filly to complete the Wakeful and Oaks double.
She certainly will, and she's in the right stable, you know, to get that opportunity. The Mark Eustace team with these 2,000 metre plus horses are just exceptional. James McDonald went forward. They went hard in this race. The leader set a good tempo, and they've all, as you'll see with the raw sectionals there, and as well as the sectionals relative to the rest of the day, they've basically, as a field, fallen in a little bit of a hole late. Look at Queen Air in the sangster colours or similar colours, back in the white with the blue sleeves and green colours. She was badly held up, gets through, and watch her really finish off strongly late. So maybe the fact that she wasn't involved in that early pressure and was so strong to the line, Queen Air could be one that handles the backup. Pavitra was good on speed, so was Zenzella, given how hard they've gone. But this race ranked 9 of 9 on the day. That's nothing to be too worried about. I think it's pretty standard for staying fillies at this time of the year.
And, well, he was riding one of the equal favourites when markets went up $5 each of 2 in Old Flame. He rides that runner here, but it's Turathon race.
Thousands as we tick towards race 5. And this is the other change on the Derby Day program with the Tablin Lithgow Stakes. Now at 1,400 metres, a Group 2 handicap worth $300,000. First run in 1908, it was 1,200 between.
I like Turath here. I thought it was a bonus victory.
Sports bet just creeping out to $4.20 now, but rock solid in the market. Old Flame next best, sitting at that $5 mark.
And they're away, and from the inside, Pride of Jenny had to be scrubbed along. along early, is about fourth last. Poland sprung the gates hard and led from Crosshaven and also Charath in the early part, and then Old Flame Pride of Jenny Getters to go by about a length. Two in second, Crosshaven. A length and a half, Charath third. Pride of Jenny fourth, the inner. Wicklow Town fifth, 3 deep and improving. A length, Old Flame, Wild Planet, Lord Vladivostok, the rails. Next in the field is Sinner One, Ironclad and Catalyst last. 650 metres to run. Poland tried to clear out. 2 lengths in front of Crosshaven and Wicklow Town. Giraff, Pride of Jenny scrubbed along on the inside. Old Flame presenting to the middle in the red, white and blue, and then Lord Vladivostok, Wild Planet, Sinner One a long way back with Ironclad and Catalyst. Poland, 300 metres to go, still has a good buffer, about 2.5 lengths in front. Old Flame trying hard now. They were followed by Wild Planet, Ironclad. Poland starting to climb stairs, and Old Flame wearing it down with 100 metres to go. Old Flame takes the lead for James McDonald, and Old Flame is coming away. Old Flame won the Linlithgow. Poland second, Ironclad third, then Wild Planet. Next, Sinawon, Crosshaven, Pride of Jenny, Lord Vladivostok, well back Wicklow Town.
Record 10 across the Melbourne Cup Carnival, and James McDonald has gone kapow. He's got 3 the first 5, and he sends Old Flame home to victory in the Linlithgow. And as Paul,
if you're stuck fat, you're well rewarded here. This was a supreme performance. Sails past the leader in Poland and a space to Ironclad and Co. He's a good horse with a good strike rate.
Yeah, Poland set a really good tempo here, and he just wanted some clear galloping room, didn't he? Old Flame. And you spoke to Paul Snowden pre-race. He just said the one instruction to J-Mac was get him some room, and he just had it worked out so beautifully for him. And
was $5 now into $4.80, but it is In Secret that's seeing some support coming in late.
And In Secret,
he's going to get back, he's going to charge late. I like the wide draw for him. Go back, find some cover, get to some clear galloping room and launch.
He's really...
First winner in Giga Kick here in the Danehill.
Yeah, fastest last 200 metres of the race there, chasing Giga Kick last start when narrowly beaten. He's proven down the straight. I think he'll relish the step up to 1,200 metres. Love the...
Gets into second in the Golden Rose.
She started 2:30 favourite in the Golden Rose, and she ran really well behind Jack and O. That was 1,400, and he nailed her near the line. She did produce a really big finish at 1,200 2 starts ago on the run to the Rose, beating several of her rivals here. Godolphin and J-Mac both flying back to 1,200 a tick. Now, she has to be a leading contender.
Since it became a Group 1 in 2006, 9 colts, 2 geldings, 5 fillies. Chris Waller winning 5 of the last 9 Coolmores. What a rocketing edition of this fantastic race we're going to have, Ben Ascari.
It's an outstanding race, very much looking forward to it, arguably the highlight of the day, and I just think there's too much of a discrepancy between Jack and O and In Secret. I've got Jack and O on top. I think he'll get back.
I'm going with Jack and O on top. I just hope he hasn't already peaked in 2 grand finals and that he can replicate it.
Tough mounting out. I'm with Jack and O on top as well. I think the team have conditioned him beautifully for this. You can see he's had racing under his belt up here.
OK, so the filly In Secret, she's holding way as favourite, $3.20 and rock solid too. Geez, punters are getting involved here at Sportsbet. Really good hold on the books here for the Coolmore. So In Secret, $3.20, and she's been rock solid at that price. Jack and O, they're coming for late. Look at this, $5 into $4.80 now, Jane's pick of the yard. Betos Notches eases slightly with the weight of money for Jack and O and In Secret. And then...
Ready. They're racing. The big field away. Lofty Strike jumped well with Queen of the Ball, and Cool and Gatter showing speed. Grand Impact isn't too far away, and Best of Bordeaux towards the outside shows speed with Duel. Queen of the Ball just in front of Duel, Grand Impact and Custodian over on the far side. They were followed by Economics, Cool and Gatter, and behind those horses Buse. Then came Best of Bordeaux very deep, and then Lofty Strike, Meridius. In Secret would spot the speed about 5 or 6. They were followed by Economics around her from Samaji, Great Barrier Reef, Netuno, then Jack and O towards the end of the field. Second last, Sajardin. Buena Noches is last. Onto the course proper. 550 metres to go. Queen of the Ball and Best of Bordeaux with Grand Impact over on the far side. Cool and Gatter is right there, getting through them as well. And then came Meridius, and Lofty Strike is running on. 300 metres to go. Grand Impact from Cool and Gatter, Queen of the Ball, followed by In Secret, who's also coming on. Grand Impact, Cool and Gatter grabbed by the filly. In Secret takes the lead. A wall out wide coming, including Say Magic, but it's In Secret clear. J-Mac riding the lights out. In Secret won it. 2 lengths Say Magic. Buena Noches up for third from from Lofty Strike, Sajard and Jagano. Economics behind those Best of Bordeaux. Queen of the Ball, Meridius Cool and Gutter Grand Impact got tired over on the far side. Then Netuno, well back Custodian, back in the field. Dual Great Barrier Reef and Buse, the tail ender.
It's sheer utter dominance on so many levels. In Secret, the 6 filly to win the Coolmore Stud since it became a Group 1. James McDonald goes back-to-back in the race. He set sail on Home Affairs 52 weeks ago. It was a similar story this afternoon. He's got his 73rd Group 1 for the second straight year. He's got 4 winners on Derby Day, and that's still with bullets to fire, with Le Creek in the Empire Rose and Sharp and Smart to come up next in the Derby. Say Magic's run enormously well for Graham Begg to kick off.
Is some sort of better ground, but James McDonald, he just cannot do no wrong. He is the best in Australia, if not the best in the world at the moment. He just believes in himself, and the results are just telling us that he's doing exactly what's required.
Popular with the punters, popular with the man to my left in Michael Christian, who was part of the In Secret story. We'll get to that in a moment. Ben Ascari, the concern for those who were with the Godolphin filly, who becomes the 6th filly to win the race since it became a Group 1, was what happened out of the gates.
Yeah, got a good squeeze, didn't she? Really copped a big bump coming out of the gates, and to her credit and to James McDonald's credit, she was really tough in these mid-stages, holding her position. James didn't relent, she didn't relent. And when the opportunity presented, and it was quite a narrow gap, she was tough. She took the gap and she really sprinted away. This was a race run at a good speed, you know, relative to the rest of the day on the soft ground. Queen of the Ball was leading it at quite a fast tempo. Best of Bordeaux alongside their Grand Impact back to the inside, but you know, she really had to sprint off a fast tempo, and she did that, and was just too good for the opposition. Say Magic was a terrific run. Buenos Noches initially picks up and sprints better at 1200 than Jacquino. Jacquino looked like he was winding up and really going to run on strongly, maybe into second or third. But Say Magic comes out, Buenos Noches comes in, and he loses his momentum. But that was all elementary because it was all about In Secret.
Including Say Magic, but it's In Secret clear. J-Mac riding the lights out. In Secret won it. 2 leagues Say Magic won it. Not
Year-olds. First run in 1855 last year. Hitotsu for Mar Eustace and John Allen defeating Allegron and T-Waters 2 years ago. Johnny Get Angry for Dennis Pagan and Lockie King defeating Hit the Shot and Young Verta. Into the mounting yard we go. And can it continue for James McDonald? He tries to become the first here with Sharp and Smart, the spring champion winner.
The late money's with him too, probably because of that J-Mac factor. Too good despite race.
Get out here today in the Derby, but certainly Sharp and Smart is going to be the danger, and especially now that James McDonald's on board. I was almost tempted just to switch my numbers around because he's already won 4 today, but that is probably one of the reasons why Sharp and Smart is now into favouritism. In terms of some other
of the Penfolds Victoria Derby in the past 20 years, the 2022 renewal looks to be a deep well of talent indeed. Ben Ascari, your numbers for our feature.
Yeah, I think Berkeley Square deserves to be favourite in the race. I liked the...
I've gone with Berkeley Square as well. I've loved his preparation. I like the 7-day backup from the Vars into the Derby. I've got Pericles, Mr. Maestro and Sharp and Smart, and I'm also having something on Manzoice at a big price, a roughie. I thought it at $20 is worth a ticket.
The horse I'm putting on top is the favourite in the one, Sharp and Smart. I really liked his parade. He's got the real traditional staying physique. He looks exceptional in the coat, and he was so bright and alert and flew into this race. He peaks for this, and Manzoice was the one, if you're looking for some odds that really put his hand up from the mounting yard.
Oh, it's an old-fashioned crunch on Sharp and Smart. The bet count has gone off its nut. All right, Australia, you're getting around James McDonald. We hear you, and you're into $3 from $3.40. Come on, man, this is a good go. Sharp and Smart carrying the weight of the shoulders.
They stand and they're racing in the Derby. Fujita San from the middle gate jumped away the best with Lanedorf over on the inside. Also Sharp and Smart looking for a forward position with Pericles. Berkeley Square is quite close as well as they reach the judge. Fujita San is going to cross over, led by a length and a half to a wall of 5 horses early. Muramas is nice and close along the inside lane past at Chiquita Lodge. 1,200 metres to run, and the leader is Fujita San. Tried to relax it here by a length and a quarter. Highland Blaze, who has worked. 2 Two further back is Landorf in third as the field really string out. A length to Muramasa at the 1,000. 3 lengths Pericles. Then came Sharp and Smart, Distrustful Award. A length Barclay Square, Mr. Maestro and Aberfeldy Boy. Manzois as well, back with Fearless Knight and Berardino. Grand Piero, King's Crossing in 2.5 lengths to Skyfios. 700 metres to go. Fujita San in front of Highland Blaze, but the 2 leaders come back to the field. Distrustful Award 5 deep coming into it. Muramasa 3 wide and then Pericles. Sharp and Smart is dressed up with nowhere to go at the moment. And then came Barclay Square. Fearless Knight on the outside, and then came Landorf into the running. Fujita San at the 400 metres, led a length and a half to Pericles. Muramasa. Then came Sharp and Smart over on the far side, and Mr. Maestro unleashing out wider. They've got to Fujita San at the 250. Pericles, Muramasa, Sharp and Smart, and Mr. Maestro with Manzois, who's coming home hard. Sharp and Smart with 100 metres to go. Led a length and a half to Manzois, who's trying hard. Sharp and Smart tiring. Manzois is wearing it down, coming hard, and won the derby. Manzois from Sharp and Smart. Third out wide. Aberfeldy Boy, a massive run. They were followed by a photo for fourth between Berardino, Muramasa, Barclay Square, Mr. Maestro in a line. They're all there. Then came Skyfios, Highland Blaze, Fearless Knight, Fujita San. Well back in the field then was Landorf, Pericles, King's Crossing, Grand Piero, and Distrustful Award has finished last of all.
The spring champion proves to be the supreme form line for the Penfolds Victoria Derby yet again. But it's a boil over with Manzois, the genius of Chris Waller once again. He's been successful in the Derby previously with preferment. Manzois was beaten 4.5 lengths in last Saturday's spring champion. The race won by the...
Not so much as price, but the Derby didn't rate overly highly, and maybe a couple of those horses out of the Vars, Barclay Square mainly, didn't back up. He didn't go to anywhere near the level he did last week. And the fillies went...
I'm in those green colours of Barclay Square, but it was Manzois who was 8th last Saturday in the spring champion, but you had to really hone in on what he did in the last 100 metres of the spring champion and even through the line as a pointer to what he produced yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. And Manzois 2 starts ago bumped into White Marlin, an older horse who looks pretty smart. He then won again at Cornfield
Tuesday.
And that was on
a career and a...
And Mr. Maestro unleashing out wider. They've got to Fujita San at the 250. Pericles, Muramasa, Sharp and Smart, and Mr. Maestro with Manzois, who's coming home hard. Sharp and Smart with 100 metres to go. Led a length and a half to Manzois, who's trying hard. Sharp and Smart tiring. Manzois is wearing it down, coming hard, and won the derby. Manzois from Sharp and Smart.
So Michael D, his 7th Group 1, a fortnight after
that spring champion, where they probably didn't go as hard last week. It was a good thing. They were able to back up that week later, both Sharp and Smart and Manzois coming out of it, whereas I think maybe Pericles didn't run out a strong 2,500 metres, but at the same time, I'm just wondering, coming out of that higher rating race on the wet ground, the Vars, perhaps Barclay Square and Pericles struggled to back up a week later. But what a day for Michael D, because he also got Say Magique into 2nd position in the Coolmore Stud Stakes behind In Secret.
Wins another derby. This is Manzois getting out after Sharp and Smart when he was over towards the inside, and Manzois is trying to get clear, and now it does.
Yeah, typical Chris Waller set up. He's looked a real stayer in Sydney. He worked home nicely, as we said the last couple of weeks ago in the Champion Stakes, looking good for this race, and he was just perfect. He's done a really good job.
Chase down this stayer because he is tough.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yep, he could be a Cups prospect in his own right in time. Sharp and Smart, good job. Look, in a short time, he's had 3 October runs now, and very quickly. So he's still a raw talent in his own right. But yep, the first 2 over the line there are the ones. They look pretty good stayers.
Now, Brad.
Vine Madonna won this race in 2007 as a $1.70 favourite. There might be money still to come for Le Creek to get somewhere near that price. We've got an odds-on favourite in the tab, Empire Rose.
Yeah, the whole of Flemington was on Divine Madonna that day, and she was far too good. It feels like the whole of Flemington's on Le Creek today, and let's hope she can get a similar result. I think it's going to be the...
Stake back, but my result's going to be with the 12 in Yearning. I think she's just been building nicely this preparation.
On top for me, she's lickety-split. I just... like the way this horse has come up this time in. She's just presented brilliantly in the yard.
$1.85 in the red, La Creek, the best back runner, clearly in race 8 here at Flemington. Now let's have a look outside and look at the numbers here, folks, because we've got some roughies. You're playing your top-toed exotics and you get your turnover. 14 on top from 16, She's Lickety Split, 1 Ice Bath, but then 12 Yearning and 7.
Group 1 contests. Signal and away at the mile. Daisy's away fairly. Yearning midfield out, jumping well. She's Lickety Split and also La Creeks are the favourites up there with Kiku, Exalita, Belle Plaisir, Lob behind those. They were followed at the end as they reached the 1,200 metres. She's Lickety Split is the front runner, the filly. 2 lengths Belle Plaisir and La Creek is third, one off the fence. 2 lengths to Kiku outside of Exalita. Also in that group of horses, 3 deep Mirror Vision. 1.5 lengths Peliza Pan, Daisy's Elusive Express. Then came Yearning well back in the field from Kiss on All 4 Cheeks. 2/3 down from a Tissue Ice Bath. My Whisper, Cliff's Art and Shalo is last. Through halfway, 800 metres to go. She's Lickety Split steadied in front by about 1.5 lengths to Belle Plaisir. Then came La Creek as they come up towards the corner. She's Lickety Split just starts to kick into gear again and now leads by about 2.5 to 3 lengths. Belle Plaisir around the corner. Then La Creek, who has a little bit of chasing to do from Kiku, Exalita. Back in the field, Mirror Vision, Daisy's Ice Bath, Peliza Pan, Yearning, My Whisper. She's Lickety Split went for home. Sprinted up at the 300. La Creek under the whip chasing. Then Exalita. Mirror Vision the outside and Ice Bath up on the fence. La Creek moves up at the clock tower from Exalita. Mirror Vision and Ice Bath over on the inside. La Creek just in front of Ice Bath and Mirror Vision. Ice Bath up on the inside and La Creek. Ice Bath holding on. Ice Bath. Such a trier. Such a brave mare and won it. Ice Bath from Mirror Vision. Photo third. La Creek, Exalita, then a Tissue Kiss on All 4 Cheeks from She's Lickety Split.
It's the breakthrough that Brad Witter and his Bonnie mare Ice Bath have been waiting for. 38 starts and finally a Group 1 on the CV of a horse that's got the best part of almost nearly $5 million in prize money. She has raced and lived through the pop-up age and has cashed in accordingly, but she's been thereabouts so many times. Second in a George Main, 4th in an Epsom this preparation, and then
been so good in so many big races without winning. She was only 4 from 37 leading into today, but of course she's run so many good 2nd, 3rds and 4ths at the highest level. And today, Craig Williams is off the winner. Craig Williams is A-OK. The clerk of the course is going to bring back...
He's been a trainer in his own right over the past couple of years. He was a foreman.
Melbourne Cup Carnival, won a post-race as well, saying that after this horse had split Superstorm and Cascadian in what turned into be a cracking addition to the Cantala 12 months ago. We know Mr Brightside coming out of that race to be a Group 1 winner. They've gone from contesting, I guess, the rebadge version of that race, now the Weight for Age Champions Mile, to come back and tackle her own sex.
Yeah, and she's run so well in so many good races over the years and broke through for that victory that she'd been waiting for at the highest level. Big talking point is La Creek. I'm wondering now, having seen the sectionals and how slowly they went earlier. She's Lickety Split. I think good ride with the lightweight, controlled a slow speed, given every chance. The winner there's run home in the 4th fastest last 400 metres of the meeting, 5th fastest last 200. They have not gone hard at all. Maybe La Creek second run at 1,600 if I'm looking for an excuse, because initially I thought it was just very, very disappointing, but maybe she was already looking for further or just out-sprinted off a slow speed. But yeah,
congratulations. It's finally happened for her, Ice Bath, but for Brad as well.
Yeah.
His first Group 1 victory. Now, we talk about Ice Bath being the bridesmaid. 5 Group 1 placings over a mile. It was only fitting that a Group 1 win would come at a mile. Corey, she's finally done it. Well done to Ice Bath,
yeah.
the owners, and Brad Witter.
So deserved. Like this was, you know, I hate taking away any shine from any other trainer or, you know, owners. But that horse was true.
Giving Marzu the nod today. I think he just gets the gun run here from barrier 1 and can probably slip right onto the back of Eduardo, and it doesn't look as though they'll go overly hard. Lost and Running, certainly the class horse, but I just wasn't sold on that barrier trial, and I'll go with Marzu.
Technology, the $3 million plus bonuses on offer for the Nature Strip Stakes over 1,300 metres, and there...
Horses Lost and Running. Plenty of people. We work in hypotheticals all the time. time in racing, don't we? Plenty of people thought that Lost and Running may well have won the Everest, given the way the race was run last time, but unfortunately that wasn't to be, and this would be a nice little, well, a nice little win after what was such a disappointing day. $2.25. Mars
at stake. I think Private Eye is the one to beat. I think at 650 into 550, and the roughie.
And they're off and racing, and Eduardo jumped brilliantly wide out together with Biona Smart One, who was very sharp into stride, and Biona Smart One holds Eduardo early. Marzu right there in third, and Lost and Running straight into fourth. Followed then by Rocketing by Riadini, settles midfield. Looks like Kamantari's on the outside. Further back to Mars Crusader, Private Eye right there. 2.5 to Brutality, and Colding is the last one. So Biona Smart One's going to hold out last year's winner, Eduardo. Marzu in third, Lost and Running fourth. Followed by Kamantari, planted 3 wide around Riadini, Rocketing by the rails. Further back to Private Eye, covering a bit of ground by the looks of it, but plenty of cover from Mars Crusader, then Colding, and Brutality's been shuffled back to last. We own a Smart One at odds, leads around the corner from Eduardo, Lost and Running, hooking out. Then Marzu looking for a rails run, clear from Rocketing by Kamantari and Riadini. We own a Smart One, being challenged now by Eduardo, and Lost and Running moves up on the outside. Marzu's going along the rails. Kamantari and Private Eye down the outside. Private Eye, let's go with a big run. Marzu up the fence. Private Eye, the big win in the Nature Strip Stakes, has come from last to beat Marzu and Kamantari. We own a Smart One fourth, then Rocketing by Riadini. Eduardo, Lost and Running, wasn't up for it today. Then Mars Crusader from Brutality, and Colding. Private Eye.
He's a star. He is a big star, this horse. But he's always been a terrific horse. He put together a picket fence as a young horse. He then went up to Queensland a bit like Colding. He came back and won an Epsom. He failed in the Golden Eagle on this day last year. He had not such a great...
Going to be third. Here's the overview of Private Eye racing away from them. I can't believe how well this horse is going, and he would to think that he's a better miler than anything. He is flying, as is the stable. But Private Eye, Brent Navdullah and Joe Pride. What a track this has been for Brenton too.
3 or 4 lengths better, Ronnie, this time round.
Well, this is just explosive. Yeah. We go look at your sectional times here, and then he throttles down and beats this field.
I think we even had him down at one point as just a wet tracker.
Yes, he's wet, dry, 1,200, 1,300 mile. He ran in a... What did he run in last year? He ran into McKinnon. He ran into McKinnon. And... I don't know. He's just a mature, happy horse who is just explosive, airborne, and Mizzou was good. His big pays day is going to come.
Well, no, it came. Well, it did come, yes, with the bonus.
Because he got the bonus.
Yeah, Private Eye wasn't eligible for the bonus. So first prize yesterday for Private Eye was I'm going to sound like Pritchard here, 1.725. 1.725 million. Yeah. Marzu got the bonus.
That's right,
So he... on top of his 560,000 for second prize, he won $2.5 million for the bonus. He won $3,060,000. He won more than the winner.
And we were talking about all this prize money Redzel earned.
Yeah.
He's stablemate, but this horse is young, and he's got a few more Everest to go through yet, and maybe a few more bonuses to go through. Kamantari was genuine again. He wasn't himself, was he? Lost and Running. He cruised up there on the point of the turn, and well,
another great run by Brutality. Yeah, he's just crying out for a bit.
Complement of horses going from the Everest to this race as well, and Private Eye is just through the roof this preparation. He was enormous in the Everest. His first up run here in the Gilgai was sensational, and he has anything between 1,200 and a mile in Australia at his feet.
Look at those sectionals, 33.5, 22.02, 11.02. That is... They did not go hard early in this race. That is an electric turn of foot. He's flying this preparation. Only I wish I win in a race where it was completely different race shape. Quite steady early and have ripped home in just dazzling sectionals. You're right, Nigel. He's just come back in outstanding form this preparation. The Gilgai, clear standout performance of the day. Beat all bar Giga Kick in an Everest. Thumping win there in a race worth God knows how much money. But
yeah, he can come down next week for the sprint, for the mile. The world is the oyster for him at the moment.
Where's Masked Crusader at?
Chances coming up the Golden Eagle. I'm going with the Chain of Lightning simply for the fact I think this very much in-form mare will just get the best run through towards the inside gate. But we've got to respect like light infantry. I really like watch out for a big finish from her.
What a race coming up. $10 million in prize money and a wonderful trophy put on by Nick Chironi yet again.
But it feels more like a Doncaster when I look at this lineup on the board.
Yeah, that 100 metres that's missing, though, down to 15 could prove important for a couple that are running on here. You know you've got a good competitive race when you've got a 5 in front of the favourite. And I am surprised, but we now have equal favourites. Light Infantry's been a noted drifter today. Was around the $3.80 mark first thing this morning. Now $5. Chain of Lightning is the best backed runner in the race, 6 to 5. I Wish I Win, $9.50. Gypsy Goddess is the third best backed runner in the race. In the Congo at 14. Hinged at 14. Eagle Rocks just started behind me. I'm glad I'm not in my uni days still. It would have been a bit awkward here in front of all these people. But anyway, our favourites, Light Infantry and Chain of Lightning.
Good stuff. We'll get the hot horse. There'll be some hot, sweaty bodies here in a minute, Emma.
Today is no doubt going to be one of the best editions.
20 for the first time, eh? $10 million for the first time. The Golden Eagle, the championship for 4-year-olds. Darren Flindell.
We're ready to run. Stand by for a break. Back to back, the Wasn't Racing military expert jump well together with Valana. Mr. Mozart handle the start well. And In the Congo's quickly on the scene together with Lady of Honour and Overpass. So it's In the Congo just in front from Lady of Honour. Overpass, Chain of Lightning down on the right. Further back to Cardinal Gem. Then came Gypsy Goddess. Lightsabers very deep. I Wish I Win's in the middle of the ruck as they go into the first turn. Clear from Light Infantry, who's taken a spot down on the rails. Hinge moves up the outer. Further back to Hope in Your Heart from Valana. Jimmy the Bear, Halal, Fangirl second last, and Converge sees them all down the side of the course. In the Congo, being tested by Mr. Mozart, who's done plenty of work, and Mr. Mozart puts the head in front from In the Congo. Lady of Honour third, Chain of Lightning gets a great run fourth, the rails. Further back to Overpass, military expert, pinstripes out deep, well in the middle of the ruck. Cardinal Gem back on the fence with Gypsy Goddess as they turn, and Light Infantry gives away a big start. In the Congo's got a great kick at the 300. In the Congo, 2 lengths clear from Mr. Mozart. I Wish I Win is starting to power into the race, and quickly I Wish I Win at the 200 metres has shot to the front. Gypsy Goddess along the rails. Fangirl late on the scene. I Wish I Win in front. Here's Fangirl the outside. Fangirl goes to I Wish I Win, who kicked and won. I Wish I Win just from Fangirl and Gypsy Goddess in a great finish. Closing off at the end, Light Infantry from Hope in Your Heart and Hinge. Then came In the Congo from Cardinal Gem, Converge, Overpass, Pinstripe, and Well was one of the last to finish.
Oh, Richo, the comeback's complete in so many ways, isn't it? Nolan and Moody on such a big occasion.
In the winning, he's a really good horse, this winner, and a deserved winner.
And Well got knocked down halfway down the straight or even closer to the home turn. We'll come back with more after I Wish I Win's win in the Golden Eagle.
It's a serious race. I think we suspected that all the way through it since it's been run, but I mean, it is a real race. The form will flow out of it. Full field, there's unlucky, there's tales of woe, and there's excitement, and there's, more importantly, very good horses that contest it, and the winner is a very good horse.
Yeah. Corey? Win 20 runners face the starter. A bit of interference. Jamie Carr gets suspended, but let's talk about the winner.
Well, you can't. I know there was a few shuffling up behind there, but he had to make a long, sustained run on this horse, didn't he? Like he got on his bike. His main thing in his head, you could see the whole race was, I've got to get to the outside. I've got to get to the outside. I need the momentum and the turn of speed that he has shown in a couple of those runs in Melbourne. He really come to the fore there, and it was a winning turn of speed. It was near the ride of the year from Bowman.
Yeah.
It would have been the ride of the year for one. But it was still a great ride.
Yeah.
To do what he did from that draw.
From the draw and coming from where he had to get to and to weave his way through. A good smart ride by Lukey Nolan. I know you obviously got questioned when Frankie Dettori got put out of a spot, but when you're coming from back there, towards the rail as you can, just so those runners can't get through. What about the runner Gypsy Goddess?
Incredible. An outstanding achievement to be first up in a high-pressure race like that. And he is a very... with confidence, and I'm tipping she might be Caulfield Melbourne Cup this time next year. Early Crow.
On yesterday's run, I think she's the real deal.
Yeah.
She goes straight for a break now. That's it.
Yep.
One run.
And you've got to give it to that. Nearly won all 4 runs, and they throw in a race like this, and she has the hide to look at Bowman Weaver.
Oh, look at this.
This is you know, it would have been a great ride by Bowman. Just to anticipate. He was anticipating those runs. They weren't there.
No.
But that was to no avail. That was to no avail. Light infantry. Everyone wants to kick him. I think it was a total forgive.
Oh, I thought it was a massive run.
You know, for a horse that had never been around a bend, and he would have been a momentum horse like the winner.
Yep.
Well, it's one of them we'll never know.
Yep.
And the same.
The 3 of them in the run, given they were all in slightly different positions.
Yeah, look, it was a pretty nice Train of Lightning. Jamie rode her a treat. She got her into a beautiful spot. Perhaps the way the track was playing, it actually shaped up really well for I Wish I Win. So watching it, I thought perhaps Chain's a little bit too close, but I Wish I Win just got into such a beautiful position. Luke was able to bring him out to the middle of the track, and didn't he just fly home late?
It's like watching a 500cc motorcycle corner. Like, Luke Nolan just had acceleration as he was cornering, and then just between the 3 and the 2, you would have just about been hitting light fixtures in your roof given his acceleration.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Luke actually made the comment that he thought he idled a little bit when he got to the front and was sort of by himself there. And Waller's mare was super. She was coming up to him, and I was absolutely screaming. I'm surprised I haven't lost my voice.
I'm surprised you're wearing Cerise this morning too.
In performances, maybe he was just a touch flat, and he has absolutely rated through the roof there. It seems like it takes $10 million to get some pace in our races, so
I'd run fast at 10 mil.
there was some pressure there. They went very, very fast.
How significant was him getting back
on screen? Race number 7 from Ascot, the Belgravia Stakes, and plenty of eyes on this race as Amelia's Jewel returns, the undefeated 3-year-old filly. She comes for running second behind Express Time in a 1,000-metre trial at Belmont once again. Was defeated half a length in that trial. $2.30 posted this morning for this Miller trained filly. She's now in $1.85. That's her on screen.
Belgravia race Jared over on the outside at the 600, went up running 4th. Now the filly got squeezed back on the inside in a compacting field. Carberry looking to work off the inside with Amelia's Jewel. He was able to do that there. He found a run in the middle. Over on the outside, swim through Azina, and Penny on the Queen's gone right back to the fence at the top of the straight. Man Crush leads Snow Dome. 2 lengths behind them. Amelia's Jewel being asked the question. No run, rumour says. Snow Dome comes out after Man Crush. Over on the outside, Amelia's Jewel trying a life out. On the inside, Man Crush kicks. Now Amelia's Jewel and Snow Dome coming. Here comes Amelia's Jewel. Amelia's Jewel diving. She got there. She got there, the filly. Brave win first up. Amelia's Jewel from Snow Dome. Man Crush close up behind them. Penny on the Queen. Rumour says Azina. A gap in the field then. Swim through, and Uncle Jared's amongst the last of them home.
The filly has got there. Amelia's Jewel. It was very, very tight, but she's got over the top to narrowly take out the feature this afternoon from WA race number 7 at Ascot.
We're going to go to this call by Darren McCauley. Amelia's Jewel. She's 4 from 4 now, unbeaten as a 2-year-old. She's all of her races have been black type. She returned, but she's the star of the show in Perth. She's the next big thing.
She is. She's the highest rated 2-year-old of the season, included all our fillies over here, all 2-year-olds. She's got the highest rating if you want to judge them by that.
Nick Quinn, a market with thanks to Ladbrokes, please, for Tuesday's Melbourne Cup.
Well, Deauville legend, all the rage. The only runner in single-figure odds at 380. It's double figures or better the rest. Montefilia without a fight and Realm of Flowers all 11. Gold Trip 13. Lunar Flare a $17 chance. Huyamel 18 there with Smoke and Romans. Obviously the chances don't end there, but Deauville legend, a long-time favourite for the Melbourne Cup, and it's easy to see why on the back of this very impressive victory, and the form has subsequently stacked up well.
This the great Voltager at York in mid August, the horse, the Great Voltager in the white, is about to pass Ben, is El Bodegon.
Yeah, and he puts paid to El Bodegon. I think El Bodegon's a better horse at 2,000 metres, but he's got, you know, those cross-counter English 3-year-old, you know, Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old form references that have proven so you know, so good in the Melbourne Cup. Greg Carpenter's caught up with them though now. This is his
55,
last.
he hasn't missed him.
Hasn't missed him, but I think he's good enough to overcome it. I think he deserves to be a clear favourite.
Well, that's a nice segue. Top 4 in this year's Lexus
Yeah,
Melbourne
and there's
Cup.
a theme to it. There it is, and they're all internationals. So I think Realm of Flowers is probably the best hope of the locals, but I was expecting we might get twins out for you.
Yeah, look, I think that the favourite is well deserving of it, but I'm excited to see some of the locals. I've gone with a bit more of a local flavour than Benny has, and Montefilia, I thought she was super in the Caulfield Cup. It looked like...
Well, I've gone for Catherine's fourth selection. He's drawn a great gate. We know he can get the trip, and his run in the Caulfield Cup I thought was fantastic. Caught wide. And
producer Matt today, so I said don't show the graphic, but I'm keen on Dover Legend. I think Jewess is the horse though who has been specifically targeted to this. 8-2-19-1 will be minus of the chances from a domestic point of view. Quinny, who do you like?
Deauville Legend, I'm 8-1-17-6. Deauville Legend, Gold Trip emissary, and without a fight, and best bet on the program race.
The greatest moment I've ever had on a racehorse in my life.
Let's party!
There's no other event, and I promise you, around the world, there's no other event like this one.
15 of them, so I'd certainly recommend take a trifecta first forward. Be un-Australian, not to Ed, but
very much so.
You know, off the inside. What I'm thinking as we evolve into the day is perhaps the inside draws won't be the advantage we thought they would be.
For me, it's the likes of Montefilia, Without a Fight, Deauville Legend. They're the kind of three that I'm worth.
Bet, and by gee, have you punters voted? Well, the favourite Deauville Legend opened up at $3.90. He bottomed out at $3.40 here on race day, but now he's out to $4.60. Punters taking on Deauville Legend. Montefilia trims into $9, has her support. Realm of Flowers, over 250,000 Australians have backed Realm of Flowers and made her the most popular backed runner in the Melbourne Cup this year. 16.
Entertainment in the build-up to the great race. An icon in Colin Hay belting out the land down under. Cody Cup. The first of them is Gold Trip, who emulates Humidor in 2017, Elvstrom in 2004 by running in the big 3 majors in the spring. The Caulfield Cup, the Cox Plate, and now the Melbourne Cup.
Unlucky not to finish closer in the Cox Plate. He was very good in the Caulfield Cup, just beaten by one that had a perfect run and 6 kilos less. He's the class horse of the race, and the wet ground is a big tick. But the query is the end of 3,200 metres with 57.5 kilos.
History can join Bobby Lewis and the late Harry White with a record 4th Melbourne Cup victory aboard race favourite, the 8 Deauville Legend, who won the Great Voltager at York back in August. El Bodegon, 3rd in the Cox Plate, was 3rd in that race.
Progressive European 3-year-old with that right profile coming through the Great Voltager, thrashed El Bodegon. That form stood up in the Cox Plate. Looks to have a big turn of foot.
The pathway to glory for Media Puzzle, Americane and Junadin.
Career best form. Too good for the subsequent Lexus Archer winner in the Geelong Cup. Don't know if the wet track's ideal, and the end of 3,200 some query.
High Emotion won the Bendigo Cup 6 days ago.
Yeah, she's fit. She's got a lightweight. She's in form. It's an elite staying stable. She likes Flemington. The question is she good enough?
Well, again, another one you can look to.
24 Realm of Flowers won the Ramsden last year to qualify for this race. Didn't eventually take her place, but she's had very good tune-up form, including that Metropolitan eye-catching run.
She's the hope of the locals. It was a big run in the Metropolitan, wide no cover throughout, but more so I think the slow speed was against her. She's better suited at Flemington. She'll appreciate a more genuinely run race. Wet tracks are positive. Career peak came at Flemington. Yeah, I think that this favourite in Deauville Legend brings the right profile. He's a progressive horse. He went to a new level last start if the internationals don't measure up.
I'm more happy to be with the favourite Deauville Legend after I've seen him parade, and also look at the price at $4.60. Much better than what we were getting earlier today. I think it's
a legend. He ticked a lot of boxes, and he has definitely gone on top for me today. He was outstanding in his parade. His coat was spot on.
What are your favourite? Deauville Legend, clear-cut favourite for this year's Melbourne Cup, and Charlotte's pick of the yard. But the best-backed runner, this is a good go. $11 into $7.50. Rauma Flowers. Wow, Rauma Flowers, this is a good go for the Melbourne Cup. Well done, Australia. You have had a crack.
For the Lexus Melbourne Cup, stand by for a start. They are ready, locked away. Gates are back and they're racing. They're off in the Cup, and Knight's Order towards the outside. The best to jump with Vow and Declare. Dewar, Smoke and Romans isn't too far away. And also Kimura showing speed without a fight. The International in the yellow jacket is also up there with the leaders across the track in the first 200 or 300 metres. Poking up as Grand Promenade from barrier number 1 also. Interpretation drives up to lead with Smoke and Romans, Vow and Declare and Grand Promenade. Kimura without a fight out even deeper. And Knight's Order's about 7 wide at this stage with Serpentine out there with him. They were followed by Vow and Declare, and back in the field Stockman and Dewis and Emissary from Huyamal. Then came Young Verta, who's a little keen 3 wide. Next in the field Realm of Flowers, and then came Gold Trip, Higher Motion. Then Deshaun Sweet Jr. Second Lexus Melbourne Cup is Arapaho. 1,600 metres to run, and the leader is Serpentine. By a length and a half, Tralee Rose. 2 further back in the field is Smoke and Romans getting a gun run on the outside of Interpretation. 3 lengths Kimura, a length Grand Promenade, and then came without a fight a length Deauville Legend tucked away on the fence. Knight's Order continues his run 3 wide, a length away Numerian midfield Dewis, and then came Emissary, Vow and Declare. Further back Young Verta, then Huyamal and Stockman. Next in the field Gold Trip 2/3 down. Deshaun Sweet Jr. well back on the fence. Montefilia's getting moving. Then came Higher Motion, Realm of Flowers, and Arapaho is last. Serpentine 1,000 metres to go. Just led from Tralee Rose. Knight's Order is going to try and set the cup alight and moves up 3 and 4 wide and goes to the front early. Smoke and Romans going with him. So as they reach the 800 metres, and Knight's Order has taken off 2 lengths in front of Smoke and Romans. Daring Tactics without a fight slid up to 3rd. Deauville Legend got to 4th. They were followed by Dewis. Tralee Rose in reverse. Then came Realm of Flowers to the outside. Next Young Verta, Gold Trip, but Knight's Order is going to try and break their hearts in the Lexus Melbourne Cup at the 450, led by 2 legs Smoke and Romans. Here's Deauville Legend presenting, and Gold Trip down the outside. Emissary is behind those. Gold Trip moves up, takes the lead from Deauville Legend. 250 metres to go. Emissary running on. Gold Trip 150 metres to go, wandering about, getting tired. Emissary is trying very, very hard, but Gold Trip is brave. 100 to go, a length and a half Emissary. Gold Trip is going to win the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Gold Trip wins it in a real staying contest for the ages. 2 legs Emissary, late 3rd Higher Motion, then Deauville Legend. Next to finish in the race, Realm of Flowers, Deshaun Sweet Jr. Then came Stockman, Vow and Declare, Arapaho, Smoke and Romans, Knight's Order, then Grand Numerian, Serpentine, and Kimura will not complete the course.
The coronation of Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace is complete. Their 20th Group 1 in partnership is their biggest yet. The Lexus Melbourne Cup, the 162nd edition. They brought 5 horses to the race. They've claimed 1st and 3rd. Gold Trip, the first horse in 5 years to run in the 3 majors, the Grand Slam, so to speak, of the Melbourne Spring. 5th, 2nd and 19th. So good, so tough in the Caulfield Cup when it took Durston to mow him down. He then came through an unlucky run in the Cox Plate, but as we've seen so often in recent years, it's not the placing, it's the subtleties of the performance in the Cox Plate that points to this race. And Gold Trip delivers Mark Zahra a win in the Melbourne Cup 2 years after his success aboard Very Elegant, last year's winner of this race in a Caulfield Cup. What a performance from...
After he has the Melbourne Cup on his mantelpiece.
Oh, absolutely. He's a world-class jockey, and, yeah, as you alluded to, his weight's always been a little bit of a problem for you. But you get the added bonus when you get a horse like this, the right weight, you get the job done. He deserves everything.
Australian Bloodstock for finding the horse, and there's a lot of good clients in it. Noel Greenall and Yeah, no, it's just fantastic. So,
take a deep breath. Tell me, what does this mean for you, Kieran Mark?
It's unbelievable. It's a dream come true, and I'm just thrilled.
Good idea, mate. Let's go to your mate David Eustace with Francesca.
Are you actually shaking inside?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's the pinnacle for our sport to do it with Kieran. I'm obviously so grateful to be training with him, and it's just you know, a great honour to be doing that with all these good horses. And to this horse who was so unlucky in the Caulfield Cup, we were so gutted when he got beat, and then I thought he was going to get beaten again.
Everyone's had a lot to do with this horse. John Bunting, he's a great mate of mine, and he's had this horse in very good order all the way along. Great mate, great bloke, and very good at what he does. So fortunate. And Dave, my brother, everyone, you know, it's just huge. You know,
his European form pointed really strongly to him getting the 2 miles like he did today.
Yeah, we were confident he'd get it. He didn't get his shot last year, and you know, I suppose it's sort of redemption for the horse as much as anything. He wasn't able to do it last year, and he showed that he's a top liner. And we were very, very worried that last 100 when Emissary was coming. I thought it was going to be the repeat of the Caulfield Cup, but the horse really dug in, and Mark gave him the most beautiful ride. He waited and waited and waited, and the horse kicked at the right time, and thank God he did.
Yeah, like I say, this time last year I was watching Very Elegant win and getting told off for drinking too much because it would hurt, and to come a full year and have redemption on a horse like this with, you know, good mates of mine that sort of train the horse, own the horse, and my wife's here, just unbelievable feeling.
And that redemption extends to him being beaten so late in a Caulfield Cup that he wasn't going to be denied today.
Yeah, I timed it to perfection so he didn't get re-handicapped for today, I guess, but yeah, when I pushed the button, he's a sort of horse, you can keep to him for as long, but when you go, you've got to go, otherwise I reckon he can think about it. So I went and I was thinking, well, still got a bit to go here, but it was great training effort to have him. Like, I was very doubtful he'd run 3200, and Kieran and Dave and the team have just had him spot on today. Unbelievable.
Did you recesses of our mind that this race was run on a very, very sodden track, and Gold Trip becomes the first horse to carry the #1 saddle cloth since Makybe Diva to win the race. 57.5 kilos. It was perhaps the right year to be the top weight in the race, given that we'd had the likes of Durston fall away, Hutch, and then maybe not the same international representation we've had, but he's the first horse since Humidor in 2017 to run in all 3 of the spring majors and win one.
I think the only thing better than the Cup is all the post-race comments telling you why he was such a good thing. And it's unbelievable, isn't it? But obviously, when the rain came, it really enhanced his chances. I didn't know if he'd stay or not. I didn't really give him much of a chance, to be brutally honest. But look, I think what I took from the race, Dwayne, and we'll just get, sorry, before we go to you, Matty's call, but just the switch of the whip here with Mark Zahra on board.
50 metres to go. Emissary running on. Gold Trip, 150 metres to go. Wandering about, getting tired. Emissary is trying very, very hard, but Gold Trip is brave. 100 to go. A length and a half. Emissary. Gold Trip is going to win the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Gold Trip wins it in a real staying contest for the...
Yeah, you feel it might be a dynasty of the Mar Eustace team sort of dominating this race. That's the impression that I sort of get from that first and third, of course, in the event.
And 5 in the race.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going to really be big players in the race, no doubt. But just when Mark Zahra said, you know, he was having nightmares, I saw a couple of interviews and he had plenty of them regarding the Caulfield Cup, Dwayne, and he said, I should have just pulled the stick through the left hand. Well, he made that little adjustment. And I've got to say, when Emissary sort of loomed up at the 200, he thought, oh, is Gold Trip is he going to sort of dodge it again? But, you know, Mark pulled the stick through and he did respond.
Yeah, Mark thought that he might have gone a fraction early at Caulfield, and he just didn't fail to run through the wire. And you've seen there, that horse was empty and he was laying in, and he switched the whip to the left hand. He put him back on his other leg, and he just got another surge of energy from there and maintained it through the wire. As you say, Emissary was launched to come out after him. That horse's run had probably ended and he started to duck back in behind Gold Trip. So, game over. One thing you got to remember is Mark Zahra last year would have been sitting on the couch, just bitter pill to swallow, that to not ride Very Elegant. He probably thought that his opportunity had slipped him past. And
I think he said he was on the beers in Byron Bay and might have been
the 3 majors. So
well, he was the class horse in the field, and like you said, Mike, they've done a great job with him with that
time and patience. But what do we make of the rest of them? I mean, we were talking, if we're going to be frank about it, you know, going into the Melbourne Cup, that it wasn't a stellar edition in terms
We
of...
had the Geelong Cup winner second, the Bendigo Cup winner third.
To get into the race, Hutchie, it's really difficult just to pass the rigorous standards.
You're part of it with Macram.
I was part of it with Macram. You know, we thought he had a terrific...
Kennedy Oaks set to run. As time goes by, a bit fractious, away they go. And She's Extreme, the inside, jumped well with Let's Be Frank Baby, Zenzella and Pavitra. Almost a line of 4, and Queen Air's nice and close today at the post as well, and is going to drive up in between Zenzella and on the outside Pavitra to keep the ladder wider. She's Extreme looks for the sit, then Let's Be Frank Baby. Albanian Icon, the bolter on the paint. 2 lengths Mac Rana as time goes by, and then came Renaissance Woman, who sits on the out, and the leader is Pavitra at a sedate tempo in the Oaks by a length and a half. Zenzella second. Third is She's Extreme. A length Queen Air. There's been no change in the play. Over a length Albanian Icon, followed by Let's Be Frank Baby. Then Mac Rana and Foxy Cleopatra. 2.5 lengths Serious Princess as time goes by, and Renaissance Woman. So Pavitra is really dictating terms here for Jamie Carr, and led by a length to Zenzella. Then She's Extreme and Queen Air. It's going to be a race for the final 650 metres as Queen Air hooked out 3 wide. Let's Be Frank Baby got onto her back. Then Albanian Icon, Mac Rana. Foxy Cleopatra joining that wide train. Then as time goes by, as the field huddle up around the turn, 500 to go. It's Pavitra from Zenzella, yet to show her hand. She's Extreme behind them. Then Queen Air, who stoked up wider. They sprint up at the 350. Pavitra led by a length. She's Extreme, Zenzella, Queen Air, and then Foxy Cleopatra. It's Pavitra, 200 metres to go. Carr draws the whip. She's Extreme on the inside, coming at her. She's Extreme, grab Pavitra, Queen Air. She's Extreme coming clear. 3/4 a length Pavitra, and She's Extreme for Anthony Cummings. The Cummings name lives on in the Oaks. She's Extreme by a length Pavitra, Queen Air, Zenzella. Then as time goes by, Let's Be Frank Baby, Serious Princess, Foxy Cleopatra, Albanian Icon, Renaissance Woman, and Mac Rana at the tail of the field. She's Extreme, Tommy Berry and Anthony Cummings. His famous father, JB, won knocked in the final 200 metres. The Class filly has taken out the Oaks. She's Extreme.
Right time?
Yeah, look, she drew good alleys, so good alleys are everything in racing, especially in Group 1s, but I had the right filly and I gave her a click coming into the corner and she almost ran over the top of the leader. She was going that well, so I knew I just needed to split at any moment and she was going to take the race away, so it was pretty special.
Tommy.
She's Extreme, grab Pavitra, Queen Air. She's Extreme coming clear. 3/4 a length Pavitra, and She's Extreme for Anthony Cummings. The Cummings name lives on in the Oaks. She's Extreme.
One of those years in the Kennedy VRC Oaks where the Class filly had the best of them, and that was the case with She's Extreme. Group 1 winner at 2 in a Champagne. Arguably unlucky in a Golden Slipper and a graduated preparation that saw her peak on Thursday, Hutch.
Yeah, amazing. She's an amazing horse. Simple as that. I mean, to show that precociousness at that point in time and carry on through and win an Oaks. I know the Class can still get them through, but she was very good there, and she was the highlight of the race, quite clear. There's a couple there that'll go on and be okay. I'm not sure what was behind her, Mike, but she's a real talent.
Oh, it was a pretty skinny race without She's Extreme, and I thought it was a terrific ride by Tommy Berry as well, just sort of hugging the rails. And I'm not sure. I would say 1,400 to 1,600 metres.
Yeah. Could be right.
Yeah.
There'll be a plethora.
Let's look forward. Couple of market movers getting up, and a favourite. I'm hearing you punters. Come on, let's keep the train going. Toot, toot, Soul Came. He's the best backed runner here. The Import having his first start. He's very impressive in York. You know what? He gets to 2,600 here, and it's Chris Waller and Craig Williams. He bottomed out at the Import having his first start. Very popular with the multi-bets as well. Persan, well, he's solid at that $6 mark. He opened up a...
They stand and they're racing. Solcombe was a little bit slow away and goes back to second last early. Luncey's began well with Cariff Persan. Sound is in between horses, warning off the tracks, pushing up as well, last year's winner. Then San Huberto, Great House over on the far side, passed by No Compromise. So they leave the running. 2,200 metres down. San Huberto, King of the Castle, the next pairing. Two further back to Solcombe, who spots the lead about 12 lengths, and Captain Envious is last. So the leader is Warning. 850 metres to go for Nash Rawilla. Got a bit quicker now from Persan, about 3/4 of a length off the lead. Two further back is Luncey's, and then came Cariff No Compromise. Next in the field is Sound at the 650. San Huberto's getting going. Solcombe tries to attach to its back. Then Great House, King of the Castle, and Captain Envious. They run for the money. 500 metres to go. It's Warning with Persan. Luncey's makes a line of 3. Next in the field is Sound No Compromise back to the inside from Great House. Solcombe and Captain Envious right down the outskirts. Plenty hopes here. 250 metres to go. Going up and taking the lead, Luncey's from Warning. Here's Solcombe now digging in. Solcombe sprints hard, moves up to Luncey's, then Captain Envious. But Solcombe is going to dart clear and is a little bit too good for them. Solcombe wins it. Second Luncey's, third Captain Envious, fourth Sound. Then Persan, Warning, Great House, No Compromise, King of the Castle, Cariff, and last San Huberto.
Craig Williams, a record 4th win in the Queen's Cup. John O'Neill and his group of ownership, they know a thing or two about winning a staying feature here at Flemington. And they've got a horse that they can circle the first Tuesday in November in 2023 around, you'd imagine, here with Solcombe. We've mentioned it's been the pathway for...
Yesterday, horse second to the outside left of screen. Craig Williams got him balanced up. He ran really good time compared to the Ebor handicap on the same day at York back in August. And he's brought his talents down under in a big way.
Wow, he looks an exciting horse, doesn't he? He's still a little bit of a handful before the race. Craig Williams doesn't trust him yet. He's a young horse on the way up, but he has got untapped ability here, and he's going to be an exciting prospect going forward.
It's amazing 15 minutes or so for Aussie Kid, John O'Neill and all the team. Simo, who you know well, they had pits and margin for errors a bit.
Experts everywhere. I mean, good luck to them. I think they've got a genuine Melbourne Cup prospect for next season, so long as it passes the veterinary protocol.
John O'Neill, who's a mad tiger, the Punt Road End Syndicate mad tiger. The Punt Road End Syndicate was noticeable in the ownership and in the mounting yard yesterday. I think there was about 18 premiership medals walking around amongst Tom Lynch, Jack Revolt, Jack Graham, Liam Baker and Nathan Broad. So they'd be very, very happy that J.O. steered them into a potential Melbourne Cup horse.
I've known J.O. for probably 30 years, and he'd have to be one of the luckiest racehorse owners over a long period of time. So anyone who's thinking of getting in...
Solcombe now heads the way at $15, White Marlin 18, Deauville Legend $21 there with Francesco Guardi, Gold Trip at 21. So what I like to monitor is the seedings. Initially we had a group of them there at $21, but Solcombe and White Marlin now the market leaders on the back of very impressive performances.
Question without notice, and maybe something for next Sunday's show, to know where the market was 12 months ago and where the Gold Trips of the world sat in that market at that point.
Gold Trip was a pre-post favourite at one stage, so it just goes to show that you're almost mad not to follow this.
And in all seriousness,
I'll tell you what, he's making up for it.
It was very elegant in the same vein in the end of 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go, we might be onto something.
Is there a market for your horse
Pass the hat for next year's Melbourne Cup? Hat tissue. Well, it's all the rave here in the Matriarch against the mare. She flashed home in the Empire Rose last start. We opened up at $6.50. Whack! Into $3.60 yesterday. And today, look at the tumble. $3.10 into $2.70. Clearly the best back.
With the tissue.
Yeah, she was my best of the day. I loved her running the Empire Rose. I think she's ready now. You've got a great combination. It's the right... I think
that really took my eye in the mounting yard. One was the 4 in tissue and the other one was right down the bottom, the 13 Glory Bound. There's not really much between the two of them. I've narrowly gone with tissue on top.
Wow, punters have said it's a bear. He's about due. He rides the heavily backed favourite. Last time I spoke to you, punters, this favourite, a tissue, was $3.50 into $3.10 and now into $2.60. One-way traffic. This is a shutout.
And they're racing at the 2,000 metres and Glory Bound round out the back with Foxy Frida, who drags back to a clear last with Tokarangi. Cirileo Miss straight to the front from Steinem. Thought Provoking from wider is going to push on with it as well, and got to third from Honey Creeper, and then a Tissue passed by Polly Gray. Next in the field is the Map, and then so Cirileo Miss is the front runner, heading towards the 1,000 marker and kept them moving. Cirileo Miss by a length and a quarter. Thought Provoking second, and this field is strung right out. 3 lengths to Steinem, 3.5 Polly Gray, about 2.5 lengths a Tissue, who'd be loving this speed from Honey Creeper, and then came Dynasties and Glory Bound as well back in the field, preceded by the Map. Next in the field, Foxy Frida, Elusive Express and Tokarangi. 6.50 out, Cirileo Miss with Thought Provoking. Getting a bit closer now. They've run it pretty hard. 2 lengths to Steinem, Polly Gray. Next in the field, Honey Creeper, a Tissue. Hooked to the outside, would spot the lead about 5, but she's coming on. Then Dynasties well back. The Map, Glory Bound, Foxy Frida and Tokarangi. They've got to Cirileo Miss. Steinem took the front at the 300 metres. She's wandering about though. A Tissue chasing hard. Steinem, 200 metres to go. A Tissue's got her though. It's a staying test. They were followed by Honey Creeper, Tokarangi. A Tissue up to Steinem, 100 to go, and she's coming clear. It's number 8 for J-Mac. A Tissue wins it well. A Tissue first, 2 legs Steinem. Third a dead heat, Honey Creeper or Tokarangi. Then Cirileo Miss, and next Polly Gray, Elusive Express. Well back the Map in company then.
Empire Rose form to the fore. The market nails it, and James McDonald has his 8th win of Melbourne Cup week, and it might start documented. A Tissue wins the Matriarch. Steinem back onto a good surface, producing the best we've seen from her in many a month, and it looks like it's going to be...
McDonald came in the Matriarch yesterday aboard a Tissue. This was a super go in betting. Like, you're just watching the VOP screen continue to tick down. It started with a 3 in front of it, ended up, I think, 2.5 or something in that vicinity. But as soon as she had the back of Steinem, the race was put to bed.
Yeah, I must admit, I mean, I liked her, and I thought, you know, early market sort of 10s into 6s, really 6s into 3s, and I was saying to BZ on the day, I thought that she'd probably get back out, and the next minute she's $2.30. It was relentless, the money, so... And it was a very easy watch, wasn't it?
Another peach of a ride from James McDonald, just rinse and repeat, wasn't it?
Yeah, he put her in a great spot. And that time that they posted was pretty good. That form will stack up quite well, I think.
Well, on James...
On the books, a Tissue. Gee, Chris Waller has 2. J-Mac gets his first. Waller and J-Mac bring up their best chance, and it's all about Nature Strip. And guess what? Ding, ding. Bookies are on the ropes, and here they come for Nature Strip. Geez, the best price we bet today at Sportsbet was $1.85 into $1.65, and he's going to start shorter than that the way they're jumping on, let me tell you. All one-way traffic, Nature Strip to bounce back from Giga Kick in the Everest. Giga Kick beat him a long head there.
Let's go. 3 Group 1s to come our way on Tab Champions Day. It starts with the Darley Champions Sprint. It's been on the final day of the carnival at Weight for Age since 2007. $3 million on the line at Group 1 level. Last year, Nature Strip successful by 3 1/4 lengths, defeating Swatstat and Bella Nipotina September. And here on Champions Day, Nature Strip seeking to make history and become the first horse to win the race on 3 occasions.
Yeah, and the market's saying he'll do that, Nigel. Got him on top. Like I said, I don't know if I'd take the price, but let's just hope he brings...
I've gone with Giga Kick here. He's unbeaten down the straight. He's unbeaten in his career. He lowered the colours of Nature Strip, and yes...
I'm happy to put Nature Strip on top. I'm with the one here. He's just got the old head on his shoulders, and you can see that with the way he's handling himself in the mounting yard. He's a consummate...
Strip out if Nature Strip wins. Don't worry about that, folks. Tissue was a big go in the last into Nature Strip here, and the multis just start to continue for the big 3 Group 1s with Private Eye heavily backed and Animo. So Nature Strip now settling at that $1.70 as I speak to you. Giga Kick, well...
Set for the Champions Sprint. They're ready to go. Stand by, and they're racing. Nature Strip jumped quickly with Rothfire. Front page was clearly the best out, though. Lofty Strike began okay, got to 4th, then Poor Lely. And behind those horses is Rockin' Horse, the Inferno's last of the pack over on the far side. Giga Kick would probably spot the lead about 3 lengths at this point of the race. Over on the outside, Rothfire, Nature Strip together, followed by Rockin' Horse behind those with Poor Lely, the Astrologist Levante. Then came Giga Kick in the next line, Argentia Mask Crusader Baller. Over on the far side, Front Page led Lofty Strike, Bella Nipotina and the Inferno. So Nature Strip in a rhythm. Came onto the course proper at the 550. Led the entire field by a length, Rothfire. They were followed by Levante, Front Page and Lofty Strike over on the far side from Bella Nipotina. Giga Kick's almost gone back to last. Nature Strip has plenty of company here. Front Page, Lofty Strike together with Nature Strip. They were followed by Rockin' Horse and Rothfire. And back in the field on the outside, Levante. Nature Strip with plenty of challenges. Lofty Strike, Front Page, Rockin' Horse. Nature Strip's going to have to lift. Rockin' Horse, the centre just in front of Nature Strip. Rockin' Horse. Rockin' Horse has won it from Nature Strip. And they were followed by Baller. Late for fourth, Giga Kick, Lofty Strike, Levante all there from Rothfire, Paulele, Front Page. Then Bella Nipotina, Masked Crusader, Argentia. And at the end of the field, the Inferno.
An enormous performance from Rockin' Horse. The Newmarket standing up after winning that at 100 to 1. And Jamie Mott has got his second Group 1 of the spring after breaking through on Call Sign Mav. And he's typically the partner in crime for Lofty Strike, who ran a huge race, just puncturing in the last 100 metres. But what a thrill for all involved with Mike Moroney's team and Rockin' Horse, this New Zealand mare who has come to Australia.
Sort of devastating turn of foot like we saw in
metre Group 1s at Flemington in the calendar year after a win in the Newmarket at triple figures, and yesterday was still a juicy price hutch.
Very much so, but everything was because Nature Strip was $1.70 or whatever it was. What was it, $1.70, $1.75 once again. And look, it was a great race. Obviously, you can see Jamie mentioned yesterday that he sort of peeled off without the cover from about the 600-metre mark and let go really well. And Giga Kick, look away now if you managed to back him. He clearly had excuses, but let's take in the call.
And back in the field on the outside, Levante. Nature Strip with plenty of challenges. Lofty Strike, Front Page, Rockin' Horse. Nature Strip's going to have to lift. Rockin' Horse, the centre just in front of Nature Strip. Rockin' Horse. Rockin' Horse has won it from Nature Strip. And they were followed by...
Blanket finish, to say the least. Jamie Mott joins us, his second group.
It was a really good place chance. But, yeah, once I sort of got inside the 500 metres, I was in striking distance and Nature Strip hadn't sort of put lengths on us. I knew it was a big chance.
You seem to...
But to be honest, she was in that good of a rhythm. I don't think it really mattered. She had clear air and look,
Look, it's a $3 million purse yesterday, 1.8 first prize. So Moddy's first one was the little one, but he's now gone into the elite company with.
You want to start?
Hutch, come on, you're a step in.
Well, where do I want to start? Well, look, I think Giga Kick's the talking point in a big way, isn't he? I mean, obviously, it seemed as though on the day that he had a game plan, Craig Williams, and he's been sort of happy. He wanted, obviously, Dwayne, I think, to follow Nature Strip where he went. But there was options early, probably to be in a very similar spot to what Jamie is, and I haven't seen this overhead shot. And it was just a nightmare from pretty much after about 300 metres on. I mean, surely most would look at this race, Dwayne, and say Giga Kick with even luck, if he gets it, he wins. I think that's fair.
Oh, that's a fair call. You know, there's... Craig obviously had locked and loaded onto Nature Strip wherever he was going, and that just afforded him to be in traffic and not get the clear running. The horse always wants to lay left a little bit, but... you know,
well, they made comment about the track and laying out. He's gone as straight as a bullet there when he's had the opportunity to go. So it wasn't that at all. It was really just the tactics of the first 300 metres. He wanted to go right and follow Nature Strip, and if he stayed where he was, I mean, it's an amazing effort to get within a length, really, when you see that overhead shot as well. And the sort of race got away from it. You just can't have that go against you. But look, Craig gets a lot right. Unfortunately, he had his tactics. He got it wrong there, but he'll bounce back, I'm sure, on Giga Kick. And the good thing is, I mean, this horse, he is genuinely an excitement machine, Giga Kick, isn't he? He's been beaten once there. He's had genuine excuses, but he's a supreme talent.
He's gallant.
Nature Strip's no doubt. He's nowhere... The changing of the guard, and Nature Strip's no doubt. He's nowhere near where he was, and for whatever reason that may be, but it's probably time. He is 8 and he's done a great job, but he was well off his best yesterday.
I'd be respecting him wherever he goes. I wouldn't be taking him lightly when he bounces back next time through the order.
Well, what's wrong with the other
favourite in Private Eye, who's now all the way down to $2.30, while My Oberon, who was well backed when the betting opened on Wednesday, has been quite soft on race day, $4.40 out out to $6. Now the equals second elect at that quote. Both Cascadian and Alligator Blood rock solid at $6. Mr. Brightside $9.50 and Tuvalu an $11 check.
Ones, the Kennedy Champions Mile over 1600 reverts to weight for age and back to the final day of the carnival where the Cantala sat between 19.
Wow, it's an interesting race. I thought the previous one looked a little more cut and dried. It couldn't have been any more wrong there. But for me, Alligator Blood, I just think back to the miles the key with him. Private Eye, I mean, that form is to be with him.
3 on top here, Cascadian. As I said, when I saw him earlier in this campaign, he was incredibly backward in the coach, and I even questioned whether...
$2.30, but boy, oh boy, there's a great spread of money. Only 50 cents between the next 3, all around that $6 mark. Alligator Blood, $6, Cascadian. My Oberon, $6.50 each at 2. Good spread of money. Mr.
Holds them momentarily, and they're racing. Mr. Brightside away pretty well. Colding slow away. Agon and Cascadian drift back with Kiss Some. Alligator Blood charges towards the lead with Mr. Brightside out even deeper. Tuvalu got to third from Private Eye in a nice place early. A length and a half, Dallas, 100 to go, and it's Alligator Blood the leader. 3/4 of a length to Mr. Brightside. 2 1/4 Tuvalu third. A length away Private Eye, who's keen up on the steel. Dallas Sanders fifth, the roughie, and then came My Oberon at the 1,000 metres. A length and a half to Colding. Sinawon, 2 lengths Agon, and then Kiss Some and Cascadian. That's the order in the Champions Mile at the 850. Alligator Blood slackened 3/4 now a half. Mr. Brightside, a length and a half to Tuvalu, who's right there, perched behind the speed. Next in the field is Private Eye, who tracks it and travels better now from Dalasan and My Oberon. Next is Colding, and then came well back in the field Sinawon, with also towards the end of the field Agon, Cascadian, and at the end of the field Kiss Some. They come to the middle of the track, and Alligator Blood is the first to straighten. 400 metres to go. Alligator Blood cuddled in front. 2 lengths. Mr. Brightside, Tuvalu. Private Eye under pressure. And then came Dalasan, and back behind them My Oberon. Alligator Blood. 200 metres to go. A length and a half to 2 lengths. Mr. Brightside, Tuvalu. Agon late. Alligator Blood. 100 metres to go. Still clear from Tuvalu. Alligator Blood holding on. The Alligator wins. Alligator Blood and Nick Tuvalu. Third, a photo finish. Agon, Mr. Brightside, followed then by My Oberon and Private Eye, Cascadian under the arches, Colding, Sinawon, Dalasan, and Kiss Some at the tail of the field.
They're the types of horses that we hold closest to our hearts in Australian racing. These bold front runners that are as tough as a $2 stake. Alligator Blood reprises what he did here in the Australian Guineas when he was looking to really launch as one of the great horses of his time in Australia. He's been in the wilderness a little bit, but he's been brought back to life by Gai Waterhouse and Adrian Bott. And what a year he's having, of course. He was nabbed in the shadows in the Mackay Diva here a couple of months ago. He was excellent in the Underwood, doing very similar to what we've just seen there.
Alligator Blood is, I think this is where we were expecting he was going to end up as a multiple Group 1 winner when he won his Australian Guineas at 3. Hutchie then ran favourite at an All-Star Mile, was in the wilderness for a period of time. He's been revitalised in the last 6 months to win a Stradbroke, an Underwood and this race.
Yeah, it's an amazing sort of story, his journey, isn't it, all round. And this was actually with the daily sectionals, the number 1 ranked performance on the day. And I thought he couldn't speak highly enough of Timmy Clark's ride on it. Dwayne, I mean, we'll talk about it in a moment. Ended up dominating the race. Private Eye, the well-backed favourite, seemed to have his chance, but pulled up with an issue. But look, just a supremely tough performance from
Alligator Blood, 200 metres to go, a length and a half to 2 lengths. Mr. Brightside, Tuvalu, Agon late. Alligator Blood, 100 metres to go, still clear from Tuvalu. Alligator Blood holding on. The Alligator wins. Alligator Blood and Nick Tuvalu.
Tim Clark's been the man with Alligator Blood with these 3 Group 1s in quick succession, or at least in a quick period.
We've had, you know, Zaki and Alligator Blood sort of line up against each other, and as we pointed out yesterday, it probably didn't help either one of their chances.
It's probably a negative for both of them.
For each one, when they're together, but when they're left to their own devices, all of a sudden it makes the world of difference, as it has here. And
running at the top of the straight.
Back on the weapon over a mile.
He's an absolute weapon, and he's hard to run down because he just keeps running those 11.5s, 11.6s, and the horses back in the field have got to run electric times to be competitive.
J-Mac out there trying to get a champagne out wide, was he, Dwayne?
Yeah, he tried something. I was surprised he did it. I didn't think it walked that well to go out there. That Cascadian's run extremely well. Does he run the
Fastest last 600 of the day, Cascade. Apparently it was a pre-race plan. That was, you know, the stewards asked the question post-race as to why you were out there, and it was discussed and agreed pre-race that they would be intending to head to the outside fence.
What would you think about
intending to head to the outside fence?
What would you think about Private Eye? Like, he jumped too well yesterday, travelled pretty solid, pulled up lame near side high, and I'm not sure how bad that is, but that obviously an excuse there.
So I backed the horse, and I was in the betting ring pre-race, and there was just an avalanche of money for the horse. Every time it got to $2.45 or $2.50, it had come back into $2.30, $2.35. But after they'd gone 400 metres, I just walked away because, you know, the horse jumped beautifully, but then from there he was travelling really keenly, and I thought, he's not going to have a sprint left in his legs. So, you know, coming to the top of the straight, you knew that he was absolutely toast.
Almost a tail, you know, right in his wheelhouse.
Tuvalu was very good again.
Incredible. What a graduation he's made from a winter championship in July to now being a Group 1 winner, and second yesterday at weight for age.
He just travelled like a sprinter there, didn't he? Private Eye.
Yeah.
He didn't race like a miler.
No.
Obviously been kept fresh for those sprinting races and reacted. And to the mile there, he was still acting like the sprinter.
Yeah, he was right up in. Will they roll forward $13? Ellipticals, your 3-year-old for the upset, 14. Mr. Maestro as well, the 3-year-old. Trims a little from $23 to $19. Can sit on speed. And then down the bottom there, we're looking...
Last on the program, punters have got it nailed down to a race in 2.5. Animo, I'm Thunderstruck, and the half been Zaki. Animo, 2.15 into even money in the last half an hour, bets of 10,000.
Time the McKinnon Stakes was a traditional Melbourne Cup lead-up on Derby Day leading into the Tuesday. It's been moved to the final day since 2016, and it's now the weight for age cherry on top of the spring. $3 million tab Champion Stakes Group 1 weight for age contest over 2,000 metres. Last year Zaki, Annabelle Neesham and James McDonald. His record 10th win of the Carnival defeated Cascade. And Moonga on that occasion with Private Eye in third. And Co out of the Cox Plate.
Yeah, real clash of the Titans, Nigel. Listen, I've been with Animo all preparation, but today I'm switching. I'm jumping tram. I'm on Thunderstruck. I just love that last run. There's some recent...
Zaki on top for me, the two. I just really liked his parade out there today. I loved his composure. I thought the team had him...
Money at the $2.20 now. Punters are getting a better price about the favourite. Animo, $2.20. Starting to sweat up and get a little bit hot is the 7-time Group 1 winning champion Stallion. OK, let's have a look down the line here. I'm Thunderstruck. He's been rock solid. I'm Thunderstruck. $4.20. Zaki as well at that $8 mark. Into $10 Mwanga. Will he roll forward from that outside barrier? Going to talk tactics in a minute.
And they're racing. Zaki from the inside was the best elite with Animo and Elliptical. Out wide, Maximal shows pace, and Mwunga's nice and close also, and then hinged behind them. Zaki led Elliptical after the first 200 metres. Then came Maximal. Mwunga's trying to slot across. Hinge next the inside. Animo's in about 6th place as they get to the 1,600 metres. 2 lengths, he's a shocker, Mr. Maestro. The Thunderstruck. Mustang Valley last at the 1,200. So Zaki slowed it down by a length. Second is Maximal, and third is Hinged. A length and a quarter Elliptical, and then he's a shocker, and next Mwunga. Then came on the inside Banker's Choice from Animo, still about 7 off the front. 2.5 Mr. Maestro. Then I'm Thunderstruck a long way back from Mustang Valley. So they reach the 900 metres. Zaki is controlling things here for Jamie Carr. Maximal 3/4 of a length away. A length and a quarter to Hinged, and then came Elliptical. Mwunga's 3 wide as the race develops. Then came He's a Shocker. Further back in the field, Animo, Banker's Choice, Mr. Maestro, I'm Thunderstruck, Mustang Valley. They run for home in the Champion Stakes at the 500 metres. Zaki in front from Maximal, then came Elliptical and Hinged. Next in the field, Mwunga. Animo is 4 off the lead, but coming on, and I'm Thunderstruck's 2.5 behind him. So Zaki the leader, 300 metres to go. A full-on championship race now. 2 lengths in front, Animo unleashing. They were followed by He's a Shocker. Still Zaki, 100 metres to go, followed by He's a Shocker, Mwunga, Animo, still Zaki, Zaki holding on, Zaki back to back, Zaki wins it, second Mwunga or He's a Shocker, then Animo. Next in the field was Banker's Choice, Hinged and Elliptical. I'm Thunderstruck never came on from Mustang Valley. Behind those Mr. Maestro and Maximal amongst the tail enders.
The mounting art at Flemington has erupted. There's so many people attached to both the VRC and the racing game who are in the ownership of Zaki. They've been on the ride of their lives in the last 12 months, but goodness me, there's been some bumps in the road scratched on Cox Plate morning, came here, won the McKinnon, and becomes the first horse in 41 years to win back-to-back versions of this race, the Tab Champion Stakes. And this could be Jamie Carr's biggest success so far. Another Group 1. She perhaps hasn't had the Spring Carnival she was hoping for, but that was pitch perfect from in front to leave no doubt. The closers were coming. I'm Thunderstruck and Moonga were the ones to jump out of the ground late, but Jamie Carr pressed all the right...
Moment for Annabelle Neesham and Jamie Carr teaming up with success as they did last year, and well, it was an amazing performance from Jamie here out in front. The pace can make the race, can't it? As we've said in the past, Dwayne, and with Zark, we know Alligator Blood in the race. Jamie got her own way, and that just made a completely different race of it today.
Yeah, through the first half of this race, you know, Zaki had his ears pricked. He was going along at his own.
Just all of his wins, he's gone quick. And that's his greatest asset, is his big cruising speed. And I said, put your foot down, lead at all costs, and don't die wondering, can you just try and repeat Tim Clark's ride, please? And she did exactly that, and oh, he's just so tough.
What a supreme performance this was. Zaki, again, inside draw for Jamie Carr. She probably got away with a few things, you reckon, in terms of tempo?
No doubt she did. You know, she jumped well. And there's a couple there. Elliptical was obviously close, Maxwell, but she didn't really overly pressure early, and she managed to find the front quite nice. I mean, you can see she's well within her rhythm. The first sort of half of the race, she managed to get to spot on without working too hard, and that was why. Well, so I mean, in this race, it ranks there with daily sectionals. But to give you a highlight on how sort of steady they went through the first half, what have we got? 4, maybe 5 of the top 10 closing set final 200s at the entire meeting were in this race. So if you're running home in that sort of time, it shows you haven't spent much petrol. At the moment, at this point in the race, it becomes almost a mathematical impossibility.
Did you think Animo would settle closer than he did, Hutch? I mean,
yeah, I did. I thought he'd be
well, I think what happened there was he began well. Moonga was there, and James McDonald would have thought, well, I'm not getting an award just to keep Nash 3 wide. I might as well come back a length and not have a war and get on his back.
Seventh in a slowly run race and probably 6 off the lead.
But he had all favours in the Cox Plate with his draw on the run, and he didn't get them yesterday, ultimately, and he did get warm before. But let's hear Matty Hill's call.
Was 4 off the lead, but coming on, and I'm Thunderstruck's 2.5 behind him. So Zaki the leader, 300 metres to go. A full-on championship race now. 2 lengths in front. Animo unleashing. They were followed by He's a Shocker. Still Zaki, 100 metres to go. Followed by He's a Shocker, Moonga Animo. Still Zaki. Zaki holding on. Zaki back to back. Zaki wins
and back to back for the first time in 41 years. Belmira led in 1980 and 81, of course, when the race was run on Derby Day. So we'll get back to tempo and the characteristics of the race, but the training performance of Annabelle Neesham has to be lauded.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, he's been the flag bearer for her, hasn't he? I mean, and what a brilliant purchase. She's, you know, training to all the sort of took from the race as well, Mike, was there's not much between, you know, all those horses that we talk about, even from the Cox Plate, the Thunderstruck, Animo, etc. There's actually not that much between a lot of them. So when one gets a little favour here or there, as Zaki did yesterday in terms of the way the race was run, that can make all the difference.
It was the perfect setup for Zaki yesterday, although, as
I think what we've got to take away from the race is Animo. I think he was brave in defeat. He's pulled up with a slow recovery. He's had his grand finals. He's been there, and it's great to see Godolphin just keep stepping him out. Let's hope we see
$1 million up for grabs in this 2-year-old feature, the Golden Gift, the 4th running of the Golden Gift at this prize money level.
Loving. She's just getting out of touch now, and they're backing others around her. So she's out to 480. She did get as short as 440 a little bit earlier in the day. Barber is second elect at the $5 quote, got out to 650, back into 5. Coincide is at
field ready to be sent on the way. Racing now. Barber missed the kick off the outside. Shine Your Light, no speed. Infatuation and speeds to jump well. There's Get Along bursting along the rails. The pace is very swings in the second half of the field, being nudged along. Then raises the outside 2 after Barber. Flying Trapeze and Kintyre is the last one. Get Along held the front there. Get Along held out Misty Legend. Infatuation third. A length and a half then to Mahaba, followed by Mexico. Speeds to Disneck ridden up on the rails. Very deep then is Coincide. Oh, Barber came out and gave Shine Your Light the short back and sides. At the 300, it's Get Along the leader from Infatuation closing in. Mahaba sticks on well in third. Then came Barbara Mexico. Infatuation moves up to get along. Mahaba's all over the shot. It's Infatuation. Barber is cutting them down the outside. Infatuation in front from Barber. Levels up, lunges. Barber cut down Infatuation to win the Golden Gift. Photo for third, Mahaba and Summer Loving. Boy, there's plenty to talk about out of that race. Mexico next from Get Along Kintyre.
A remarkable race. Everything was happening in the straight, but this is unbelievable. Barber, look how much he misses the start, Lizzie, number one.
Unbelievable. I just absolutely forgot about him. I never thought that he was going to be able to miss the start so significantly and run over the top of Infatuation. This was an
but he was terrific, and he's a legitimate entry into the Golden Slipper. There's no doubt in the wide world. In fact,
jumps in the air.
Started to get agitated. Bunny hop, doesn't he?
Yeah. And then watch Bowman now. He just angles straight towards the fence.
Yeah, and a winning move, wasn't it? It was. It was just so smart and so experienced.
Yeah, that's what it is. The experience. I know, like
that would have been an apprentice. He would have panicked.
They would have given it the good old.
Eventually get clear air. You know, I expected him to just really let go, but he had a little bit of a think about it. So I mean, there's huge amounts of improvement mentally with the colt, but he's obviously loaded with talent. He's superbly bred, and you know, he's only going to improve on what he did today.
Race 7, Group 2, Precise Air, Hot Danish Stakes, 14.
And she's got 25% of the hold, but they're actually coming for a lot of other horses outside of her. One of those is She's a Belter, who's really solid now at the $5 quote and has some late support. Lavish.
Given in the rough and racing now. And Night of Romance was the first into stride, together with Lavish Girl. And Lavish Girl kicks up the lead from Night of Romance, and Electric Girl is straight to third. In front of She's the Gift, last of all is Jamea. They've got about 750 metres to run. Lavish Girl under a double grip. Shows the way narrowly from Night of Romance, and last year's winner Electric Girl, and favourite today is just shading She's the Gift, followed by She's a Belter. More Secrets back on the inside of Samut, Divine Magic between them as they come around the turn, and it's Lavish Girl in front narrowly here from sticking on the outside. Night of Romance, now Electric Girl going after them, and She's a Belter chiming in nicely the outside. Clear from She's a Gift and More Secrets. Lavish Girl the inside. Wide out She's a Belter. Electric Girl poking through the middle. Here's a great go in the Hot Danish. She's a Belter. Lavish Girl trying to fight back. Just in front She's a Belter. And She's a Belter won the Hot Danish. Ran down Lavish Girl. More Secrets got up for third in front of Electric Girl. Then came Divine Magic. Close up Charlize.
So she becomes the first 3-year-old filly now. We should say there's only been 3-year-old fillies allowed to run in the last 3 years, Lizzie. She was the class horse of the race, wasn't she? A Group 1 winner.
She was, and it was all about getting very similar to how she has won her Group 1s up in Queensland. I thought Lavish Girl was so brave. She looked like she got headed a couple of for her connections, but she ran really well. And the horse that exceeded my expectations, a big step up in grade, was More Secrets.
So, Richo,
in Queensland, winning the Sires and the JJ Atkins double, and she had a delayed return to racing. She came back in the Invitation, and this is second up. And a much-needed win for Willie Pike too.
Yeah, look, Willie's been a bit frustrating of late, but he's got confidence in this mare, and she gets the job. Double this filly, she gets the job done really well. She was always in control. I thought there was little map issues looking at it. I think that's the only thing I had with her going into the race, but she was always in touch. He drops his whip here before he even gets the...
To make it, well, I guess you could say 3 on the trot or 2.5 on the trot.
Yeah, we'll say 3. We'll take the 3. He's still a Group 1 winner, but he's going really well this time. He'll go there. Tommy, I know it's Tommy's first race day ride on him, and but he knows how to judge pace.
Best of luck.
Okay, thanks, Chantal.
The 5-year-olds are in the yard for the $2 million 5 Diamonds, over 1,800 metres. The first running, it's over 1,800 metres. The first running. This mounting yard.
So Ellsberg, who was our 250 favourite now, is getting out, and they're coming for everything else around him, including the Cox Plate runner Laws of Indices back here in New South Wales, who's into 390. There's been a huge push for Uncle Bryn, who we've been chatting a lot about. 8 in Diamond's got the blows out to $19. New mandate heads the rest.
Top ones will fight it out. So a bit of racing history, eh? For the very first time, the $2 million 5 Diamonds. Here's Darren Flindell.
$1 million ahead of them in the 5 Diamonds. Often racing, and Ida off the inside jumped okay together with Ellsberg, Rebel Rama. Wider out, Sabak showing a bit of speed together with Ayrton. And Laws of Indices is out very, very deep as they go up into the first turn. And Ellsberg's looking for the lead. Sabak is coming across into second and been sent forward on the outside as Ayrton getting to third. In front of us last of all. So Ellsberg leads the back straight in the 5 Diamonds. A half in front to Ayrton, and they've got 800 metres to run now. 2 lengths away to Sabak, followed by Ita, Rebel Rama, Laws of Indices inching closer in a 3-wide position. 2 after New Mandate, then came Milford. Further back to Uncle Bryn from Diamond, and Long Valera's the last one. Approaching the turn now, the favourite Ellsberg just in front from Ayrton, breathing down his neck. Sabak is pulling out. Laws of Indices forced deep. Ita scrubbed up on the rails, 2 lengths away to Diamond, Rebel Rama, and then came New Mandate at the 300 metres, and Ellsberg kicking here from Sabak. Laws of Indices still hanging tough the outside. It's Ellsberg and Sabak now. Sabak drawing level with Ellsberg. Ellsberg the inside of Sabak. Head and head they go on the 5 Diamonds. Ellsberg just in front of Sabak. He's strong, Ellsberg. Kicks, wins. Ellsberg a half head to Sabak. Laws of Indices 3 wide the trip ran third. Followed then by Uncle Bryn and Diamond. Further back to New.
I'm sure Tommy Berry's had a big week, Lizzie. This horse gets better and better, and he's now building a CV for Gerald and Sterling, who are having a great spring.
I think you can safely say he ran out the 1,800 metres. There was other options that Gerald and Sterling could go.
Ellsberg and the 5 Diamonds, the first running of the $2 million race for 5-year-olds. Gerald Ryan had set Ellsberg for the 5 Diamonds Prelude, worth $1 million at a mile. They picked up the Epsom on the way through and then thought, well, we have to go to 1,800 and have a crack for $2 million.
Yeah, well, what do you say? He's just a brave, in-form horse. He was there to be beaten here with a fit back-up horse in Sabak, and I thought, hello, you got him, Sabak, you got him. But he lifted. He wanted to win, and he, like you said, he's done an amazing job to put those 3 wins together now in pretty emphatic style, even though one was a dead heat, but... yeah,
Judge Ryan.
Yeah, look, Sabak was good, and I thought Law of Indices had plenty of excuses there. He was wide, no cover for the last 1,200 metres of that race, and maybe you can go home with a little bit of an excuse, but you just can't take anything away from the winner. I thought those
goes around and put its unbeaten record on the line. It's Amelia's Jewel, 3-year-old filly resumed. There in the Belgravia stake.
About Amelia's Jewel before he leaves the yard. Simon, what's the underlying emotion? Are you nervous or are you excited?
I'm very relaxed. As I sailed well for this, she was really good Friday morning in her work, and she's come on a heap since she raced. From her first up run, she improved out of low 2022s or break 22, but I just didn't need to be showing off, just more maintenance.
Racing. Yarrowlee stepped out of the gates last, and Penny on the Queen had no early speed, and Carberry's gone right back there with those with Amelia's Jewel early. First to get going, Nunez runs third. Over on the inside next of all is Nunez. Vampy at play, enjoying a great run right between those, and then came Mistrakova, a length and a half away, laced up heels. Carberry starting to sneak into it now with Amelia's Jewel around the outside. He sets, he bides his time. Now coming off the fence, Penny on the Queen, so he sits back in the field and has to wait again with Amelia's Jewel. They come to the 250. Now he lets her down. Laced up heels, though, beat it to the punch. Laced up heels, it hit the front on the outside. Here comes the favourite Amelia's Jewel, but Laced up heels is holding the favourite, and Laced up heels in a big upset. Laced up heels has won from Amelia's Jewel. The bubble burst today for the Star filly. Third home, Mistrakova, Penny on the Queen, Yarrowlee. Behind those then Nunez, Penny on the Queen, a gap, then Vampy at play, Royal Elite. They all get beaten at some point, even the good ones. The great ones get beaten. And it's Laced up heels.
Yeah.
He certainly loves Queensland.
Thank you. Yeah. Race 8 is our feature race here at Newcastle today. It's worth $1 million. The Hunter, over 1,300 metres, and is mounting out.
Pass goes into line. $4.80 is the price about Valana, and $6 for In the Congo. Go. The 2022 Hunter from Newcastle. Stand by, they're off and racing. and jumping brilliantly in the Congo. And after 50 metres, he leads and leads comfortably. Apache chases, surging across from the outside and straight up on his outside. Valana jumped well, so did Gravina, and they camp behind the lead, followed by Bandis and Tycoonus towards the rear. Coming down the side in the Congo leads from the Queenslander Apache Chase. Gravina in third, the favourite fourth, Valana. Then came Lions Roaring, Gratiating, Bandersnatch, Gem Song 3 out. Further back to Arameo. Then Skyman from 11-11 swats that as they straighten for the run home now. And it's in the Congo in front from Apache Chase. 2 lengths then to Gravina from Valana. 300 metres to run in the Congo, and Apache Chase stride for stride in the Congo from Apache Chase. And now Valana is given the cue, and quickly Valana moved up to join in the Congo. It's Valana in the Congo. Valana with a head in front, and Valana just beats in the Congo. Gravina third, Apache Chase fourth, followed then by Arameo. Swats that closing off together with Skylab. Further back to Brutality from Skyman.
It was just a horror gate in the Golden Eagle, maybe some sort of consolation, albeit for lesser prize money today, Brad.
Yeah, the market got it pretty much spot on there, didn't it? The Golden Eagle form that day, and today with that run under his belt in the Golden Eagle and just a wide gate, and the ground was probably a little bit firm for him the other day. Just his action.
Well, she was only half a length off in the Burgess Queen from remaining undefeated and making herself 5 from 5, which is exactly what Bustler's looking to do here today. She drops down to 54.5 kilos after carrying 58 on.
I think 1978 was the last time someone won a Caracatta into a Guineas. That's 44 years ago, and I've run second in it.
Of the WA Guineas.
Is in. Santa Bray goes up there as well. And the last thing, first of them away, Demolish. Won the start from Lord Gannicus. Amelia's Jewel away well. She's better than midfield in the early part. Going for those up now, and he's over on the outside, testing Demolish for the lead. St. Oreo enjoying a beautiful run behind them. Swear to God, Lord Gannicus down on the inside, just in front of Bustler, about to make his move. Around them goes Linden Lady. Back there as well, coming along the side, Rejuva King. Amelia's Jewel out 3 and 4 deep, coming to the turn, just has to steady up for a moment. Catch these hands back there. So Santa Bray, Sunny Honey and Upper Limits. All the King's men hit the front though in the Guineas. St. Oreo looming large. St. Oreo on the outside of all the King's men. Further back behind them, here comes on the outside Bustler and Amelia's Jewel. St. Oreo, Amelia's Jewel. Amelia's Jewel hits the lead, going with a Bustler, but the Jewel sparkles in the Guineas. Amelia's Jewel has beaten Bustler. St. Oreo third from all the King's men. Behind them, Rejuva King, Sunny Honey, Linden Late. It's glory in the Guineas for the Super Filly.
Is Jewel in a couple of weeks when we're over there for the Northerly?
Yeah, she's a machine.
Yeah, Darren, we're going to pick them up on the home turn here. Just tell us about Amelia's Jewel. I can hear it in your voice when you call her, how much she means to you.
Well, she does, because I was part of the trip with Peter Walsh. We were across in England on a racing tour to Royal Ascot. Went to Juddmonte Stud. He picked out a mare he wanted to be covered by Kingman at the time, and then he was going to France, and he'd heard about a stallion called Siuni, and he finished up buying a mare called Bumbacina. Now, I'm pretty sure the Bumbacina ended a 44-year hoodoo. It's an incredible hoodoo of a 2-year-old winning a Caracatta, then winning a Guineas. So she certainly has underlined just how special she really is.
Is a $4.60 chance currently, fixed odds. $5 about Tricks of the Trade. The pair of them have had a number of encounters over the recent 6-month period. Carly's Karma emerging as a genuine contender over the recent weeks. She's a $9.50 chance. Treasured Star, the winner of last year's WA Guineas and this year's Asian Bow. So they're having a wonderful time with this horse. They knocked back an offer over $1 million for him at the end of last campaign. They said no, at this stage of our lives, this is the thrill.
Gray continues to parade in the enclosure as the runners move in. God, they're off. They're racing on the railway. And Resort Man won the start. Search and rocks away well. Alaskan God's going to be right back in the field early as Carly's Karma now drives across, coming over Maricino. Carly's Karma, Buster Bash, Maricino, a line of three as they sort out an early lead. Behind the Resort Man, Comfort Me followed them over. Side of the track there. At the head of the others is Yonkers, and further back behind those Treasured Star. They went past the 800. Maricino came back to them, led 3/4 over Buster Bash. Up running third, Comfort Me, but Notorious One is out there 4 deep. Resort Man over on the inside of the big mare, Carly's Karma, a length and a half. Tricks of the Trade, God has chosen outside of it. Down on the inside, Captain Chaos. In the middle, Search and Rocks. Alaskan God about to wind up, getting around the outside of Ironclad. They're followed by Star Trade, Treasured Star last of the line, and Yonkers dropping out here, a well-beaten commodity. In the railway, they'd straightened up, and Comfort Me made a run at them. Ranged up, grabbed the lead from Maricino. Resort Man got an inside run. Buster Bass, Search and Rocks behind them. Alaskan God, Tricks of the Trade. Tricks of the Trade is gathering them in. Here comes Tricks of the Trade. Tricks of the Trade pulls a little bit of magic out of his Tricks of the Trade, and he wins the railway stakes. Tricks of the Trade for veteran trainer Cole Webster. Troy Turner has won the railway from either Star Trade, Comfort Me, last of the line behind them, and Treasured Star. God has chosen Alaskan God, Resort Man, Captain Chaos, Maricino, Search and Rocks next home. Followed, ridden by Troy Turner for his old boss, the great Colin Webster, the 4-year-old son of Trade Fair, to win his 9th from 14, and has dashed away to score from, and behind those, last of the line coming from well off them, Alaskan.
And then ran third in the Asian Bow and comes out and wins your feature race of the year.
Maricino, Resort Man got an inside run. Buster Bass.
Yeah, well, look at Tricks of the Trade. He's back there in Bill and Patricia Robinson's colours. He has the yellow with the brown. He gets caught up in a little bit of traffic outside of Carly's Karma after they turn for home. Comfort Me, who was placed in this race last year and looking to try and go 2 better, all of a sudden had Tricks of the Trade outside of it. And
we knew if we had him fresh enough, he could do it. We didn't want to run him last week because if he's got the edge off him slightly, he's never as good. But we aimed at this race a long time ago and we really thought he could win it.
Yeah, that's certainly done that in the last 10 minutes or so. And the one that they've really come for here is Poland, $8 into $6 in the last half an hour. So a really good push there for a horse that we know likes to settle on speed and is
ready racing. And missed the start, Literary Magnate, by 2 lengths, and Amish Boy back to second last. Crosshaven jumped well with Streets of Avalon, and Poland is right up there on the premises, made a line of 3. Norwegian Bliss behind them from Ocean Bend. Poland, 800 metres to go, looks for a breather, slackened by a length. Streets of Avalon, a length and a quarter, Crosshaven. Then came Norwegian Bliss, 4 off the lead from Ocean Beyond Amish Boy. Literary Magnate up on the paint, and Swords Drawn at the end at the 550. Poland just in front of Streets of Avalon, 2 lengths to Crosshaven, who's had a lovely run. Norwegian Bliss is tracking him, then Ocean Beyonder, and then Amish Boy. Literary Magnate and Swords Drawn detached around the turn. 350 out. Poland with Streets of Avalon. Crosshaven made a line of 3. Norwegian Bliss brought to the outside to win her race. Crosshaven at the 200 metres had a kick though. 3/4 of a length, now a length Norwegian Bliss, then Amish Boy. Crosshaven drifting about in front of Norwegian Bliss. Literary Magnate late. Crosshaven wandering about, but won at 3/4 of a length Norwegian Bliss. Literary Magnate, Amish Boy in a photo for third. Then Streets of Avalon, Ocean Beyond.
The winning had come early on in his career, the last of those being the Carvine Club as a 3-year-old on Derby Day in 2020. He'd been there.
She's run well, probably not if you've taken the short price, but
15 minutes away from the feature race here, the Zipping Classic. We're up to race 7 at Caulfield. In the Group 2, over the 2,400 metres, we did have a key scratching, of course, yesterday without a fight coming out. But since then, Luncey's has clearly been the one that punters have rallied behind.
Times between 1919 and 1964. As Sound Chasers history, Vow and Declare looks to emulate winners of the past from a Melbourne Cup to a few years later winning this race.
Yeah, I think there's 2 key hopes. And
it is built to a peak
fitness, no excuses from that point of view. He looked really firm at that price. So when you take a look at the market, it is all about Luncy's, really. We've got one horse that is firming up a touch.
And they're racing. Great House towards the outside, jumped away pretty well. Luncy's out quickly with also Desert Icon and also Persan, and Vow and Declare's not too far away on the inside. Luncy's looking for the sit and will get it. Then Kukaracha, Dark Dream, well back Japan would spot the lead about 8 and 4 lengths to Great House. 800 metres to run. Persan led by a length and a quarter. Desert Icon and Vow and Declare getting closer now. 2 further back to Luncy's, who tracked up well. Dark Dream the inside, Kukaracha under pressure. Further back Chapada, Sound still second last, 6 off them. Great House last. Persan now joined by Desert Icon and Vow and Declare at the 400 metres. Luncy's behind those. 2 further back to Dark Dream. Around the turn in the Zipping Classic. Desert Icon full bore grabbed by Vow and Declare. Luncy's to the outside. Persan battles on, then Dark Dream. 200 to go. Vow and Declare led Persan, then Luncy's. Vow and Declare, the 2019 Cup winner, led a length Persan, Luncy's, and Vow and Declare turns back the clock. Vow and Declare won the Zipping Classic, a length and a quarter Luncy's, and Persan a long gap Dark Dream. Next Sound in company with Desert Icon, Kukaracha, Great House.
A victory that harks back to the history of this race when it was the Sandown Cup. It's always been the 2,400 metre race to follow the key cups at Caulfield and Melbourne, and Vow and Declare has come through those races this year.
Classic. It's been weight for age over the past 23 years, and it has had a good history of horses coming via Melbourne Cups to then contest this race. Southern France is the only winner of the race to come through a Melbourne Cup in the 5 years prior to this. And Ben, I suppose we take in the fact that the standing
rides there, Jake, and both had their chance. In the end, I think it was just a case of the superior stayer under the weight for age conditions winning out.
Yeah, it was a great ride. Him and Blackson, as you said, Benny.
So Vow and Declare emulating the likes of Light Fingers, Baghdad Note and Arwan, winning a Melbourne Cup, returning a couple of years later to now take out the Zipping Classic. Let's take Hill.
It is an extremely tricky race, and punters have definitely cooled on the fortune teller. $4 when I last spoke to you, now getting out to the $4.60. There's really nothing between these two at the top of betting when I'm having a look at what's happening between the fortune teller and See You in Heaven, both likely to, from those wide draws, go back and get some cover. And $4.
And away they go. Tokenist away only fairly. Dream Hour out the back with Anfina and Venetian Lass. Atmosphere jumped quickly with also Zambagini on the fence. Then came Holy Mans, who got to third. See You in Heaven out deep as pushing up. Not far away, Sandpaper in the blue jacket. Then came Angry Skies, who's 5. So the front runner Atmosphere. 1,000 metres to go from See You in Heaven. Sandpaper facing the breeze 3 wide. Next Zambagini, the fortune teller out even wider, 4 deep. And then came Holy Mans as the field clutter up and they put the brakes on. Further back in the field, King's Consort, Marxist off the track, improving its position. And then came Tokenist, shuffled back on the inside of the Real Thing. Well back, Shuriken, New York Hurricane, Dream Hour, Venetian Lass, and also Anfina. Atmosphere at the 500 metres, just in front of See You in Heaven. Sandpaper 3 wide, the Fortune Teller 4 deep, and the filly Marxist 5 wide. Behind them, Zambagini under pressure. Holy Mans needs a run. Angry Skies to the outside from King's Consort. See You in Heaven sprints for home from Atmosphere at the 250. The Fortune Teller chases, and then Holy Mans, but See You in Heaven is the leader with 100 metres to go. See You in Heaven, 2 lengths the Fortune Teller, and Angry Skies. See You in Heaven, too good. See You in Heaven won the Sandown Guineas. Seconds tight, the Fortune Teller, possibly Shuriken and King's Consort also there. Then Angry Skies, Atmosphere, Holy Mans, and
it had been slim pickings for the fillies in the Sandown Guineas in the 21st century. It only had Kayambi in 2005, pretty brazen some 3 years ago, as the winners in the last 17 editions. But See You in Heaven.
Official numbers. King's Consort looked gone on the turn, but has really rallied late. So I don't know if he's looking for 2,000 metres these days. Brent Zarafa, by the way.
And hit the target so often, and they've done a super job with this filly, and she was perhaps the unlucky runner coming out of the Desirable during Cup Week.
Yeah, nice ride. Craig Williams goes forward, outside lead. There was a, nice sold speed early, but, but what this race really had was a just a significant mid-race slowdown, which I don't know if it's helped. You know, it's rated quite. I don't know if it's helped. You know, it's rated quite lowly on the day. It was the 8th of 9 races, but I think that was just so much due to the inefficient way it was run with the mid-race slowdown.
Well, at this point, if you
and see him in the run,
well, it's leading because they're getting nailed most races. No one knows this track better than Ollie, and he knows the wind here, the Fremantle doctor that invariably blows. So.
The interviews for the Crown Perth Winterbottom Stakes, Group 1, worth $1.5 million.
13 and 4. I'm with the visitors here. Rothfire from the good draw. Palele, a better setup for him on a dry track background to bend with those blinkers off. I have to
now. And the first to get going, Massimo jumped out of the gates very quickly, and so did Indian Pacific from the outside. Red Can Man, Snipperucci, though, she's building speed, driving through on the inside from the Astrologist, and Rothfire a length away is Hot Zed, followed on the rails. Titan Blinders in the middle of the field is Elite Street. Miss Kentucky a little wider, followed further back by Stage Man. There in the field, the 3-year-old My Bella May. Bo Ross a kiss on all 4 cheeks. This'll Test is a long way back in the field, and last of all is Palele. At the 600 mark, Indian Pacific had gone to the lead from Massimo. Red Can Man working very hard, 3 wide. Snipperucci's back on the inside, running fourth. A length away, the Astrologist from Rothfire handy. Elite Street sneaking around the outside of those. Onto its back, Miss Kentucky. And then came Hot Zed, followed then by Kiss on all 4 cheeks into the home straight now. Massimo reclaims the lead. Rothfire, Elite Street come down the outside. So does Kiss on all 4 cheeks. This'll Test is rattling home. So's Palele, Kiss on all 4 cheeks. Look at Palele, Kiss on all 4 cheeks. Palele lunging. Palele claims Group 1 for Godolphin at Ascot. Palele from last, a mighty performance to win from Kiss on all 4 cheeks. Hot Zed there with Rothfire and Elite Street. This'll Test ya. Behind them, Stage Man, Titan Blinders, Red Can Man, Miss Kentucky, Bo Ross and the Astrologer.
Palele from last has finally got his Group 1 at his 9th go at the top level. 3 placings before, a win today, and that is the biggest performance in Winterbottom history.
It was very, very reminiscent of Graceful Girl 12 months ago. Out the back, letting the race unfold and then erupted.
And the plan today was just take him back, make sure he was relaxed, and hopefully finish stronger than the rest.
The biggest race in the country yesterday was the Winterbottom, the Group 1 sprint over in Perth, and look at the top left of your screen now in the Godolphin Blue. That's Palele now peeling to the outside with Ben Melham in the saddle. This reminded me of Woorham's Oakley Plate win, where last of the 200 and then just went awushka.
Yeah, it was a barnstorming win, wasn't it? What did you say at the top of the show? Kapow.
Yeah.
It had a kapow kind of feel to it, didn't it? But yeah, they've obviously tried to make a stallion out of Palele, which James Cummings is incredibly adept at, and they've got the job done.
Price in hindsight doesn't, and I'm not saying I found him or...
well, Villana coming out, you would have thought there's no way he was going to start $13.
Well, he started $13. This all started favourite, and in hindsight we got it wrong. Bella Nipotina should have been favourite there, Chriso, in a Manicato, but he started favourite in a Manicato and was, you know, not despised at all in the champion sprint. He goes over a Winterbottom and goes around at $13. So hopefully a few of the starting price profilers out there might have had a result out of him because, you know...
Now called the Northerly Stakes. Northerly's colours won here early, and now he's going to have to come from the tail of the field with Cascadian, or further back anyway.
Well, I'm sure he's definitely buoyed by the fact that we've seen horses making at least a level of ground. I'm sure he sat back there in the jockey's room, watched Bazoom come
the map and get a bit of an edge.
Listen, Johnny Allen, and you're going for her to beat the filly.
To beat the filly, and then obviously you've got to... I think
that's... horse in Cascadian taking on the pride of the West, the 3-year-old filly Amelia's Jewel. It doesn't end there, but they've been the 2 big talking points.
And of course you add into that...
3-year-old filly, Pat Carberry, Simon Miller.
She burst onto the scene as a 2-year-old on debut. She won the Supremacy Stakes, then she won the Gimcrack Stakes, then she won the Karrakatta Plate and went to the paddock 3 from 3 undefeated. She resumed in a blaze of glory at last start to win the WA Guineas. This race has always been on her radar, and she, with 50 kilos, is going to be hard to hold out.
And she will be the new favourite in a couple of minutes, I've got no doubt.
Yeah, male, Scotty.
16, 1, 14, 15, and she is now into favourite Amelia's Jewel as she joins the line. 50 kilos, first 3-year-old at weight for age 1800's been a wonderful success rate in the West. From one Cascade.
100 metres sponsored by Drummond Golf, and they're just about all in. Here's Darren McCauley for the final Group 1 of the calendar year.
Steinem has just... There they go. They're racing away in the Northerly. Bad Wolf, first of them to leave over Amelia's Jewel. Treasured Star out of the gates nicely. Bustler's going up there, so's Ironclad. Steinem's going to settle behind those, though, from Star Trade. Now, here comes Notorious One burning right across the face of the field. And Ironclad by Northerly Lodge over in the back leads, but he's got the Cascadian settled well back in the field. So did Search and Roxon. She's out there very wide. Last of all, Tricks of the Trade, nearing the 800. And Notorious One getting a good mid-race breather from Ironclad sitting at its girth. Bad Wolf runs third, a half a length away on the outside. Bustler given every possible hope. They're followed after a length and a half to Steinem, who's got up on the inside of Amelia's Jewel. Search and Rocks has covered plenty of extra ground from Treasured Star. Dom to shoot, then Star Trade. Now round the outside, McDonald had to sell the farm and take off a fair way out. He's off and he's around them, 4 and 5 deep, followed by Tricks of the Trade, Alaskan God. Captain Chaos God has chosen. It's Ironclad straightening for home, though. Ironclad led a length and a half. On the outside, Bustler comes out at Search and Rocks. Behind those, Amelia's Jewel picking a way through. Cascadians coming down the outside. Amelia's Jewel out after Ironclad. Amelia's Jewel hits the front, and Walshy's West Aussie Wonder Filly has won the Northerly. Amelia's Jewel scored from Ironclad or Cascadian. Behind them, close up on the inside, Steinem, Bustler, Alaskan God, Tricks of the Trade has run on with Dom to shoot. In behind them.
And she's done it. This wonderful Western Australian filly who's ready to take on the country after winning the Northerly Stakes. And what a moment for Simon Miller. His first ever Group 1 victory. Supplied by Paddy Cup. And this filly that is going to head east, and who knows what she can do. Ironclad's going to run second, and it's Steinem, 16 Amelia's Jewel, 7 Ironclad, 12 is run third Steinem, and fourth number 1 Cascadian. She becomes the
100 to 1 chances to get away from there, and it was just absolute perfection from him. Ironclad's run an absolute beauty there. Just a slow start might have been a little costly for Steinem, but wouldn't have beat the winner. The way she pins those ears back and wants to win.
That is the third win in this race by Paddy Carberry. His fifth.
Got a few health issues, but this will cheer them both up.
Your first Group 1. Did you think it would happen?
We've been peppering away, Greg. So it was at some stage it was always going to happen, but to be honest, it didn't worry me if it didn't. I just love winning, whether it be here or Northern Maiden. I'm a competitive bastard and I love winning. So, but geez, isn't she a good filly?
Well, tell us about her. Tell us about her and how she got here.
Yeah, she's just a freak. Like, she's got an unbelievable engine with a huge stride and a great brain. It was 40.
Well, the sky's the limit, isn't it? The sky's the limit for her. She's been untouchable. She's proven at 1800 now, and she's got that turn of speed, and she showed her adaptability.